Okay. Hey, everyone. Welcome to Pub Sports Radio. Shout out to low baggers everywhere. This is Loshak in the Bag Show, Tuesday, February 15th. He's Jimmy the Bag. I'm Peter Loshak. We love doing this every Tuesday, going over the card. It's a lot of work, only because I'm going as hard as I can in college basketball now, Jimmy the Bag. And I covered almost all of the college basketball card last night. Did make a bunch of picks. I'll tell you right now. Providence, I took them at +4.5. Can you hear me? Everything good, Jim?
Yeah, good money. Yeah.
All right. I don't. I'm not trying to reverse jinx myself here, but I am coming off a somewhat shitty card last show. Right? It wasn't a profitable day for me, although the birthday pick did win. I'm not trying to reverse jinx myself, just acknowledging it. How you doing, Jimmy the Bag?
I'm doing okay. I'm excited to be back in action. I'm still struggling in NHL. That hasn't changed, and it's very, very upsetting. I've made 4 bets already on the NHL card, and there's a couple that I would like to add that we'll talk out. But there is some very interesting stuff happening here. First off, we had our schedule up for our big trip to San Antonio. On the Sunday night, we now have a XXX comedy show, stand-up comedy show, that's going to be at Southtown 101. It's going to be incredible. It's going to be so incredible. It's going to be nuts. And I think I will come out of retirement to host.
No way.
Yeah, so I'll come out. I'm not going to do that much time or anything, but I will come out of retirement to host it.
Pete, you coming?
I got to work it out. Hey, Jimmy, if you need any dick, butts, or titty shtick, I can write a few things for you if you want.
I need titty.
I have some butt stick. I don't have much titties or dick stick.
Oh no,
I have some butt stick. I can hook you up with that if you want it.
Okay, well, we'll discuss it. So I'm really excited about the trip. Also, our Jose Bouquet put his outstanding record on the line here on the show with 12 Super Bowl bets, Pete. 12 Super Bowl bets. He made them all official. We were worried sick. It started awful when there was a touchback off the first kickoff, and then he lost the flip. He had tails. It was all going south, but he cashed on Cooper Kupp to be MVP at +550.
Wow.
He cashed also MVP award non-quarterback at +225. He went 4 wins and 8 losses plus 1.15 units. So impressive.
The haters are sick.
Yeah, look, I was a hater for a while, but then, as you know, a few shows ago, Jimmy the Bag, I said, better captain than me. Better captain than me right now. That's for damn sure. Shout out to Jose Bouquet. You know what I'm saying?
I do. By the way, Shy Archie said that he was in a high school garage band called Butt Stick.
Oh,
yeah.
Very nice,
Shy Archie in the house. Dan Kelly said, I just finished reading The Age of AI and Our Human Future by Henry Kissinger and Eric Schmidt. Says the book never mentions sports betting, but it does make it clear that bettors have no chance for line makers.
I could talk about that for about 5 hours, and that would be the short version. So I'll just stick to keeping it brisk pace here and getting to the NHL card. Awesome, Dan Kelly. We are interested in the same shit, Dan Kelly.
And the Undoing Project, also not one mention of sports betting, nothing to do with sports betting, but it opens up so many thoughts in regards to the world of sports betting. So I get it. I get how a book like that would make you think nonstop about sports betting. Brian Watson in the house. There is Ick Schnizzle, Ryan Kozlowski, the nuke worker. So Pistol Pete, the nuke worker, worked his last day at Darlington Nuclear Power Plant, 35 years. He retired, and now he's a free man. He's man. He's rolling with us right now. Shout out to the nuke worker.
To you, nuke worker. He started when it was Cyndi Lauper era, and now he's ending it Loshak in the Bag. From Cyndi Lauper to Loshak in the Bag. Shout out to you, nuke worker.
There is Sammy Comer. He's on Real Madrid plus a half at -104. He's getting his day started there. Top Set ready to get to work. Top Set Elio will be with us in San Antonio. Real Deal Prime. There's Buzznuts. We haven't seen enough Buzznuts lately. Buzznuts in the house. Jeffrey Blue, Danny Lopez, Polly Walnuts, Michael Irvalina says Ram Super Bowl champions, babe. Parade tomorrow. I like it. I did not cash the Bengals team total over 20.5. Which was very upsetting, but cashed the Bengals plus 4.5 quite easily. quite easily. So, it was, and then I made 2 props. I didn't make them official. I bet 2 props. Field goal in the first 16 minutes that cashed, but second half highest scoring. I thought I was going to sweep the board, but I needed the Bengals to drive and kick a field goal, and they did not. Slatsy 3-1 in NHL last night says hate getting involved with the Preds, but over is 7-0 last 7 versus the Caps. National team total over 3.5 plus 128, and full game over 6 plus 105. David Santori says the most interesting man in the world, Mr. Loshak. We got Dabby Cab ready to go. Sammy B in the house. Clint Star, the diehard MMA podcast. Dennis Garcia. By the way, Dennis Garcia gave us the Calgary Flames to win the division at plus 220 about maybe a week ago. And that's down to plus 115. He also gave us the Raptors to win the division. Now, obviously, the Simmons Harden trade hurts the Raptors' chances, and the Celtics won 8 straight. But that he got it at plus 4,000.
Wow.
He gave it to us at I got it at 2,800 plus 2,800, and that's now went down to plus 600. But has come back up a tiny bit. But that was such a great call on the Flames to win the division. I was surprised they weren't negative today after the Toffoli trade. It was such a great call by Dennis Garcia. We must listen whenever Dennis Garcia has anything to say.
I do. He mocked me a few times for some opinions I gave, and he was totally right, and I was totally wrong. So I was like, wow, this is a serious capper right here. Shout out to Dennis Garcia. Also a funny dude. In between his astute comments, some nice witticisms here and there, some sharp quotes, some sharp commenting on in both angles. Shout out to Dennis Garcia.
Yeah, great Dennis Garcia. We got Prince of the City, Christopher Carter, Paco Healy, Jeff Slaughter says girls just want to have fun, Pete. Also from the Cyndi Lauper era right there.
Yeah, it was a different world. Back then you could bet long teasers in the NFL. No one would blink an eye. That's how much things have changed since 1985. Shout out to anyone who ever bet a long teaser in their life and didn't get an eye blinked at them. I think of I see your true colors, and that's why I love you. So when I think of Cyndi Lauper, I think, man, you could bet long teasers back then. Damn.
So great group. North Ender in the house. Tyrone Coleman, Piker, a.k.a. Poker Dig 7, a.k.a. Seamus Ignoramus in the house. All right, we got a great group, and it's time to get to work in NHL. Popping off right now, Pete. And I've been struggling. You're still above, in the black, still in the black. It wasn't a great day last Tuesday, but you're still in the black.
Yeah, and you know what? Once again, I didn't take my own friggin' advice. Nutflesh Allen took my advice and went really light on the NHL first few days back, but I should have taken my own advice, and I didn't. And I'm also frustrated because in the NBA, I kind of overthought things. There were a few obvious plays in the NBA last week that I liked, didn't take them, took some other stuff and lost. So I'm going to be much more focused this week and not overthink myself and just pull the trigger on the obvious stuff and not try to get too cute and not overthink. But yeah, just reminding me of last week's very frustrating. I should have taken it light. You know what I mean, Jimmy the Bag? First few days back from the All-Star break in all sports, especially NHL.
And we'll have our guy TrotWAM rolling with us. There's Bananas and Grapes, Rodney Barton. Well, I need to get in the right.
I'm gonna mute my audio for a second, bring up the comment section, and then I'll be with us. All right, Jim?
All right, sure. I need to get right in NHL, and this is my opportunity to do just that, working with Pistol Pete Loshak and the chat. I've already made 4 moves, and there's 2 more I'm going to make, but they're big dog lines, and I think they'll become bigger dog lines, so I'm waiting on those 2. And then there's a couple additions I think I may make. 4 I have made so far. Let's get to work. There's Dabby Cab Verl video. We start with St. Louis Blues 27-14-5, 9-8-3 on the road at Ottawa Senators 17-24-4, 9-13-1 at home. Canadian Tire Center in Ottawa, Ontario. Pistol Pete, do you want to set a table for this game and then we'll roll on?
I thought we were going to start with the Rangers. Maybe my order might be off. My order winds up being off. Just let me know. Yeah. St. Louis, we know the deal with Ottawa, right? Very beatable, but also very capable of wins and playing close as a big dog. And they are here. They pounded Washington last game as a huge road dog. And I've gotten, I think more burn than not, betting on Ottawa money lines so far this year. And it just seems once again, St. Louis, not sure what to make of them. Not a great road team, awesome at home, not great on the road. And now you got again, a massive underdog line for Ottawa that makes me think even though maybe the spot says St. Louis or whatever. At that line, it's Ottawa or nothing. But I was actually thinking about the under. I think the under might be a good play here. I know that the St. Louis coach wants to play, more intense and defensive-minded on the road. It's kind of a high total, which statistically makes sense. So I was definitely leaning under, maybe first period under, maybe St. Louis team total under. That's what I'm thinking, Jim. I'm thinking unders.
Do we know if it's going to be Husso in net, Ville Husso, or because I had Jordan Binnington listed last night. I would love to know. I do not trust Jordan Binnington at all. He's been bad this year. This has got to be Husso's team to run with. If it is, then I think that's probably a very interesting look. Money's been coming in on the Blues because the Senators are dealing with injury issues, which we'll go over. But they opened up at Pinnacle minus 189. They're now minus 220. Let's get over to the totals and see what we are dealing with there. That's coming up right now. From the total side of things, open up at 6 minus 107. And at Pinnacle, there has been a 6-cent move towards the over. There's Big Ragu 3-0-1 on Super Bowl video pick. Great job. Really Nasty Nate also in the house. Mark Schillingberg. So is it, if I can get some confirmation that it's Husso versus Matt Murray, I think that you're probably right. St. Louis, 27.7% power play, 84.2% penalty killing. Ottawa, 16.7% power play, 81% penalty killing. It will be crucial for the penalty killing unit of the Senators to be on their game because the Blues have a dangerous offense. They bounced back from that ugly 7-4 loss at home to Jersey by beating up on the Blackhawks at home 5-1 on Saturday. Tarasenko, 18 points in his last 14 games. So clearly back in business from that shoulder injury that took him so long to get over. They still have no Scandella and Scott Perunovich, but their offense is dangerous. Senators snapped their 2-game losing streak with a 4-1 win at Washington on Sunday. They're 6-4 and run over the past 11, but they lost Chabot and Formington to injuries in Washington against Washington. So they're already without Josh Norris, of course, Colin White, Drake Batherson and Scott Saber and Shane Pinto. Now you add Chabot and Formington, and Chabot's playing more, he's on the ice more than any other player. So, and there's Slatsy saying Chabot out for the Sens is huge. I'm on the under and the Blues in regulation. So I guess I just need that goalie confirmation, and I agree with you guys. I think that with Chabot out, he's a power play specialist. He's an offensive guy. That there'll be less pinching. The breakout zone passes might not all be in action here. I think you guys are onto something with this under, even though the Blues are an over squad of late. Let me just see if I can get a.
Yeah, North Enders on the over. It's just another thing that's been a little bit of a mistake for me in NHL this year has been taking, trying to be sneaky and take unders with these, explosive offensive teams, which I guess St. Louis does count as, right?
Certainly of late, yes. Certainly of late.
What would you think of the Ottawa team total under 2.5? Even though that's
it just can't be bet with Binnington in that.
Yeah,
can't be. So and Slatsy says Chabot plays almost 30 minutes a game. Who's eating those minutes? So that's my situation here. So if Husso is in net, Dennis Garcia leaning towards Ottawa, but if Husso's in net, I will move on the under.
Really?
If it's Binnington, I want nothing to do with this game.
Okay, you're not worried that St. Louis will come in here and have just a huge offensive explosion, put up 5, maybe 6 on their own.
I mean, they're playing that way, but DJ Smith is a great coach, and he's going to be worried about that.
Mm-hmm.
And if I know that DJ Smith is worried about that, and I know that he's worried about not having Chabot in the lineup, I think that we can expect a game where Ottawa won't put themselves in penalty trouble and should take care of business. So,
Okay.
I'm set. If Husso's in net, I'll move on the under. If not, I'll stay off the game.
All right, I'll hold off on this one for now, but I'm leaning under as well. All right, let's move on, Jim.
Let's do it. I got Lightning Devils up next, Pete.
Okay, but we are covering Rangers game, right? At some point, right? Okay,
yes, all the games. I put the list out, the schedule out every morning on our
All right,
the video description.
Yeah, Lightning Devils, Tampa Bay, off since the 11th, not that great so far since coming back. And New Jersey, seems like they beat bad teams that get beat by top teams. I know that Jack Hughes is expected to be back. Dougie Hamilton is supposed to be back as well. So I was thinking maybe a shot with New Jersey, but a little bit more so the over, and maybe the New Jersey team total over, maybe taking New Jersey, as kind of a extreme safe play, like +2 or something like that. But mostly I was thinking over at 6 and some kind of play on New Jersey, be it a shot with a huge money line, be it a safe play at +2 at -150, or just the team total over. What do you think? I mean, they played on January 27th at Tampa Bay, and it was close, right? They 3-2 Tampa Bay.
The Devils play the Lightning tough. They play the Lightning tough. They've done that all year. This is tough. This total, by the way, if you do like the over 6, it's going to move to 6.5. It has already in a few different books, and that's going to be happening here shortly. We have this Lightning squad opening up at -265. They're now -291. So, 26-cent move over towards them. What are you going to say, Pete?
I mean, in light of how they played last time, in light of how Tampa Bay's played on their last 2 road games, in light of Hamilton being back and Hughes returning from the 3-game absence, 250? That can't be right, Jim? I mean, Tampa Bay can lose, right? That's got to be too high of a line, right?
Yeah, sure. I agree. I agree with the sentiment that the Lightning and the Blues are too high of a line. That doesn't make me want to try to beat them, though, at this point.
Why wouldn't you like the over?
You're right. First off, I feel like I've missed the move. I would have wanted to get on that 6 earlier, and so I feel like I've kind of lost opportunity for it. But John Gillies has looked a little better, and Vasilevsky is always good. Tampa Bay power play 19.3%, penalty killing 81.2%. Devils 16.8% power play, 83.3% penalty killing. The Lightning sort of bounced back from their 3-2 loss at Colorado by defeating Arizona 4-3. Stamkos scored twice. He's been so good this year. 54 points. They're 10-3-1 over the past 14 games. And Eric Cernak may be back. They're hoping that he'll be back in the lineup. Devils had their 2-game winning streak snapped in a 4-2 loss home to Pittsburgh. Hischier is looking good. He's got a 4-game goal streak going on. But Jesper Bratt's been their best player all year. And he was scratched with an upper body injury, as was Andreas Johnsson. And then Kuokkanen is being placed on injured reserve. So they get Dougie Hamilton back. That's important. It was important to have Hughes back. Hughes scored. But I don't know if – I guess I just don't really want to go up against the Lightning. I agree the line is too high, but I don't want to –
What about I'm seeing at Heritage right now 6 -125 for the over. Why would you not like that? What's the 5-second argument? The 5-second non-artificial intelligence argument.
There isn't really one. You're right. These teams have been playing the higher scoring games, and I guess the only argument is they both have strong penalty killing. So you're going to need 5-on-5 goals.
All right, I'll take that one. I'm seeing 6 -125 at Heritage right now. If you shop around, maybe you could even get better, but I'll take that one over 6 -125.
Over 6 -125 for Pete. Pete is on the board. I will shop around and see what I can get you, Pete. And
it's just so tempting to take a shot with New Jersey here, right? I mean, it's just like, they friggin' they almost lost to Arizona, Jimmy the Bag, in their last game. I know it was a back-to-back after Colorado or whatever, but still.
They didn't look very good, so I can completely understand the thoughts here.
We have this idea of Tampa Bay. I understand that Tampa Bay is an elite team in general long term, but a lot of times you see, especially around the All-Star break, you see top teams, going to funks and tailspins. And I don't know if this is an anomaly. I mean, look at this. Against San Jose at home, they needed overtime. Against these New Jersey Devils, -350 home fave, they win 3-2. I mean, at Arizona, -270 road fave, they win 4-3. On January 21st at Anaheim, -275 fave, they get blown out 5-1. I think I've made my point here, Jim.
I mean, it's certainly Devils are no bet. So, there's big dog spots on the board that I'm excited about. This one, I can completely understand.
All right, I'll just take the over and not try to get super cute here and stack picks. All right, you want to move on, Jim?
Yeah, we have Battle of Pennsylvania next up.
Okay, this one, I don't know. If it were anything under minus 220, I guess Pitt would be an auto play, but at minus 300, I don't know. Pittsburgh, it's not too long ago that remember they were losing kind of surprisingly. Then they come back on the road, off of that struggling, and they get 3 nice road wins. Now they're back home. Philly, 2 losses. They're looking bad, but, those old reports where the people are saying, well, we skated really well in practice. Okay, not sure what that means, but they say it a lot. Again, it's just at a certain point you don't want to take Pitt, and at a certain point you want to take Philly. Should this be minus 600? I'm not sure, but I was thinking maybe Pittsburgh team total over even at 3.5. What's your take on this one? I guess it's going to be a pass for me.
Well, I would like to take the Philadelphia Flyers in the first period here. It's been a tough season for them. And these are the types of games that I expect them to get up for. And playing the Battle of Pennsylvania always brings out the best in Giroux and brings out the best in the orange and white. Carter Hart, 9-16-5, 2.89 goals against average, 9-11 save percentage. The Pens haven't been very good at home this year. 13-6-5.
Yeah.
13 wins, 11 losses. Tristan Jarry, I thought was going to be in net, but we have being told that DeSmith is in net. Casey DeSmith is in net from the chat. Thank you, guys. The Philadelphia power play has been atrocious all year. It's too bad. They thought that Ellis was going to be the key part of this defense. He played 5 games, being hurt all year. 14.8% power play, 77% penalty killing. Pittsburgh, 21.4% power play, 87.3% penalty killing. Flyers coming off back-to-back losses to the Red Wings. The last one was a 4-2 setback at Detroit on Saturday night. They look bad. I mean, they started the season 6-2-2. And they've just been atrocious since 9-22-6. Derek Brassard was not there Tuesday. He's going to be back in the lineup. They don't have a lot of center depth due to injuries right now. Couturier out for the year. Hayes been out for a long time. So he's going to be a big piece to the puzzle. And he, had a short stint with these Pittsburgh Penguins. So I think he comes to play here. Penguins coming off their third straight win, 4-2 at New Jersey on Monday night. They get Evgeny Malkin back after battling COVID. And Crosby sitting on 499 goals. So, this is the perfect game for Crosby to get number 500 at home against Philadelphia. You have to think that he can get his 500th goal here. I don't bet player props, but I would be curious to look at what the Crosby prop is for a goal here. It just seems like the perfect spot for him. And this is a team here in the Pens that are just taking more and more money. They're minus 330 right now. I bet 365. And in the first period, I think is a nice opportunity for the Flyers to come out strong. And I'm getting plus 200 at this point. I think that'll even go up. So I'm interested in the Flyers first period, Pete.
Yeah, that does make a lot of sense to me. I think it's going to be there's too many unknowns and wild cards here. I'm just going to pass on this one. But it definitely feels like, the line just keeps getting up and up and up. It definitely feels like a Flyers unexpectedly better performance out of nowhere written all over it, but I'm not going to take a shot with it.
And this total, if you guys like it at 6, it's going to be at 6.5 very soon. A couple books have already moved it there. So if you like this total at 6, I would get on it now. It's going up quickly, Pete. So I'm going to wait on that. I'm going to wait. I think if I wait, I'll get a better number. And
what about this? Just for 5-second analysis. What about something like Flyers +2 at minus 122? Pittsburgh, they're not really blowing people out, really. Boston is kind of damaged a little bit. They beat them by 2. Ottawa, beatable. They beat them by 2. New Jersey, we know what their deal is. Beat them by 2. What about Philly +2?
Yeah, I don't like turning a dog into a favorite, but I think they're going to come to play against Pittsburgh.
Right.
I think they'll play their best hockey. What is their best hockey? Is it good enough to stay in the game with the Penguins? I think so.
All right. That's going to be a pass for me. You want to move on?
Yes. We move on to KeyBank Center in Buffalo, New York, Pete.
All right. Buffalo, New York. This one I'm really kind of at a loss for, and I don't know much analysis. That's why I go first and you go second in these NHL games. The Isles off 2 straight road losses, but Buffalo, they beat Montreal last game. Montreal, though, awful, obviously. And it looks like, kind of similar to the Ottawa game, maybe a little bit more favorable towards the dog. Buffalo, clearly subpar but really not awful. There's like 3 or 4 other NHL teams that I'd take Buffalo against straight up, Montreal being one of them. I don't really want to bet on them here, but at plus 160 or wherever it is at home, I'd probably take that one. Other than that, this is probably be another pass for me. What's your take on this one, Jim?
The Islanders just don't look good. I imagine that this road trip will be a little easier here in Buffalo than it's been in Alberta the last 2 nights. And then they showed us this 5-goal first period against the Canucks to get this road trip started. They're a tricky team to bet. So we have Varlamov now on COVID-19 protocol, so he has to be quarantined in Canada. So we're not going to see him for a little while. So then they recall Corey Schneider from Bridgeport. And I love that Corey Schneider's got his way back into the NHL. And if Corey Schneider gets a start here at any point, I'm going to back the Islanders. That's the type of situation where you get the old netminder who's fought his way back in the NHL, and the team steps up around him. So I'm going to keep an eye out for Corey Schneider getting his, another opportunity to play in the NHL. But the Islanders just can't be trusted, and I don't know why they can't be trusted. I don't get it. I don't get why, the Pageaus haven't stepped up this year. Anders Lee did not come back from the injury last year the way we expected him to. Barzal hasn't stood on his head. I don't know. They're just not. Barzal's got to carry this team, and maybe he's not as elite as I kind of thought he was. But this is a chance because Buffalo's power play at 75.4%. Like, I guess I could see goals here.
Right. Very low total. That was my next question, Jim.
Yeah, and it's even being moved 3 cents to the under. I guess I could see goals here. I mean, the Islanders were not an over team. Clint says Anders Lee owns the Sabres historically. Lee for a goal at plus 160. There's Rez Mob in the house. Oh, no, Sweaty Butcher. Don't like hearing that, my man. But we love you. We'll always be here with open arms when you want to get back into action. Slatsy says, I see some goals here. Over is 5-1 last 6 year. Isles just aren't the auto under team anymore. Over 5.5 minus 105.
Yeah, I'm seeing plus 100. I'm seeing even better than that. I'm not quite getting the low total either, Jim.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough. Skinner scored 4 goals last out against Montreal, but that's Montreal. I mean, if the Islanders are still fighting, so North Ender says I have a bias against Islanders over I'm still fighting. Okay, I get that. But if the Islanders are still fighting to get into the playoffs, then I imagine that they'll play tight here against Buffalo. I imagine that, and then why would it, if this was the look, why is it moving? It just moved another cent at Pinnacle towards the under.
Could be misdirection, Jimmy the Bag. Could be AI-generated misdirection. Dan Kelly knows what I'm talking about when I say that.
Jeffrey Blue liking that over.
Dan Kelly, Mavs money line. Interesting. Huge shout out to Dan Kelly. Can't wait to talk about that. All right, I'm gonna pass for now. Although I'd love to take a shot with the over, but I'm gonna pass.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Big Ragu says under on the Isles, team total 3.5. Juiced though. There's Arthur Mead Jr. in the house. I don't know, Pete. I find it difficult. And
okay.
I get it. So I'm going to pop it as a question mark here in my comments. Let's roll.
All right, let's. God, I do feel like if we took all these like massive dogs that half of them would cash, and we come up with some positive units. But all right, let's move on. Next one, the Rangers game, Jim.
Yes.
All right. It's a high line, but I gotta think the Rangers are the play here. Jimmy the Bag. Boston lost 2 of 3 since the break. A little bit lethargic, a little bit banged up. I believe we talked about this in previous shows that maybe we were expecting Boston to fade a little bit down the stretch. They have a lot of aging stars. No offense to aging stars anywhere in the world, but they tend to fade down the stretch a little bit in various avenues of life. It's a high line, but and then Rust. You would know better than I would how to handicap Rust in in the NHL. I know in the playoffs, a lot of times, teams that are less rested do better in my anecdotal experience. But I got to be thinking, even at this line, Rangers, maybe Rangers team total over. No brainers.
I did move on the two teams that are dealing with a ton of rust. I did move on both of them. Rangers was the first bet I made on the card. Shout out to Arthur Mead Jr. Thank you so much, my man, for the dono. Much love to you, Arthur Mead Jr. in the house. Slat says lean Rangers, but playing their first game after the break. But teams playing their first game after the break have been brutal. Now, it's in the Kings' head. They're the other team with this huge break. It's in their head how bad they looked after the Christmas break. So I'm hoping to use that to my advantage. Also, we have the NHL spreadsheet play of the day. St. Louis in regulation from Ron Crawford. So St. Louis in regulation is in from our Ron Crawford. Shout out to Ron. Thank you for sharing that with us. Ron Crawford in the house with the spreadsheet play of the day. So I think that we're Real Deal Prime. Maybe try refreshing the screen. Try refreshing the screen. I think that.
Oh man, I miss the old days, Jimmy the Bag. Whack jobs everywhere. Now we just have well-adjusted smart cappers, which is great. But I'm a big fan of the whack job, the odd whack job here and there, Jim.
I like this spot. I want to fade the Bruins. Now, look, I made the mistake, even though we destroyed the market move. I made the mistake betting Ottawa against them. And I think that you just can't bet against any team that loses 6-0, that gets smacked in the face like that. They're going to bounce back. And it was just a lazy cap, I guess, for me, even though we destroyed the market move on that one. But I think the Bruins are vulnerable here. They have no Marchand. Bergeron's coming back soon, but he will not be here tonight. Grzelcyk is possible to return. He's been dealing with an upper body injury, so he's possible to return. But my thinking is that with the Bruins coming to town, that the Rangers should be ready to go. I mean, the Bruins are a storied franchise. It's not like some weak team is coming to town. That's what I expect. I beat the market move slightly. I got the -1 at plus 106, -145, and plus 160. So I'm on the Rangers -1. I just think that they're a much better team than the Bruins when the Bruins don't have Bergeron and Marchand in the lineup.
I agree. It's just I've seen this so many times. Just some team first game back from a break, just kind of inexplicably doesn't show up. I mean, it's an unknown phenomenon. It happened to the Kings, of course, and so many times I've done my handicapping for a team, for the second half of the season. And it'll always be like pretty accurate, except for like the first game back. It's like the first game back, totally out the window. Who knows what happened? And then like starting on the next game, my handicapping starts to be in line with what we see from them. But it just makes me nervous, Jimmy the Bag. You know what I mean? First game back from the break, written all over them to take them against a team with not that much heart, as Diehard MMA Podcast said, a team that looks vulnerable, not a huge line, no brainer. And then it's just more often than not, unexpectedly weird things happen. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to talk you off of it.
Well, it was the first thing I bet. Look, I am nervous about the big break, but I want to fade the Bruins every game they play without Bergeron and Marchand. I believe I will win in the long run doing that. Taint play of the day is in. We will talk about that when we get into our college basketball.
Yeah. Can I just mention that one time, Jimmy the Bag?
Yeah.
Yeah. Taint play of the day, Providence, 4.5. What's the very first thing I said in this show, Jimmy the Bag? Providence. Yeah. I remember when I said that, like about an hour ago, half an hour ago.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Providence plus 4.5. I agree with you, Matty Ice. All right, I guess I'm just going to pass and root for you to cash this one. As I was rooting for you to win the Super Bowl bet, Bengals. I'll just root this one in for you, okay?
Thank you, my friend. I will take your good vibes and hopefully ride it right to the bank. So, I feel good about it. Good enough about it, so I'm going to just roll with it. I'm on the Rangers -1. It was the first bet I made.
Yeah, I would tail that if I had a free play. All right, you want to move on, Jim?
Yes.
All right, next we got the Nashville game.
Yeah.
All right, I was thinking that Washington, not been that good in the 3 games since the break. Will they get it together? Maybe, but they just don't seem that good right now. Samsonov, I think he doesn't seem that good right now. I know Nashville has had a problem with penalties recently at home. They'll probably be focused on that and probably be somewhat successful with that. So I was thinking another maybe no-brainer situation here is Nashville, maybe just on the money line at -135 or whatever it is right now.
I came very close to moving on Nashville.
It's gotten better.
And I may do it. We have Jacqueline Martin joining us. Great to see you, Jacqueline Martin. Thank you for hanging with us and capping with us. And by the way, Daryl Lyles also as Providence as his play of the day. So we have some very strong cappers all together. So I think that I should probably add Nashville here. Let's break this down and decide if we should pull the trigger. And has there been any market movement at this point? This total opened up at 6 with -111 to the under. It's now -119 to the under. So an 8-cent move towards the under. And let's just see what they've done with the money line here. The money line for these Capitals open up at +122, now at +128. So yes, it's been a 5-cent move, 135 to 140. By the way, Big Rugu also on the New York Rangers.
Can I read something right now, Jim?
Yeah, jump in.
Yeah, J-Stone9 says, Pete, my brother, listening to 5+ years. I turned 49 today. Hit me with a birthday pick. Hell yeah. I was going to say no, but then right after that, he also typed, please, please. So the answer is yes. I'll hit you with the birthday pick, J-Stone9, at some point during the show. It'll probably come at the very end. Happy birthday to you, J-Stone9. Shout out to you.
All right. We're going to push NBA back a little bit. So, Pete, we're going to go into NCAA right after the NHL card. So we'll go into NCAA right after that. We're going to push NBA back a little bit for Wham Bam. Okay, I think this is the move. Let's break it down a little more. First off, you have Samsonov in that. So Vanacek is still day-to-day with the upper body injury, and he didn't even come on this road trip. So we know that it's likely to be Samsonov, and he's just not been good this year. 15-7-3, 2.91 goals against average, 903 saves, 3 shutouts. UC Saros, on the other hand, has been excellent. He's been excellent this year. Washington power play 15.5%, penalty killing 78.8%. Nashville power play 24.7%, penalty killing 80.7%. Capitals coming off their 3rd loss in 4 games, 4-1 at home versus Senators on Sunday. Their power play is just being anemic. 15.5% power play. I just can't imagine a power play with Alexander Ovechkin on the hash marks and then Carlson at the point could possibly be this bad. They're 2 for their last 14. And they even gave up a shorthanded goal on Sunday. Ovechkin hasn't scored in 6 straight games. So, he's coming off of COVID still, so maybe that's still affecting him. The Predators coming off their 2nd straight loss, 5-2 at home versus the Jets on Saturday. It was a very bothersome spot for me. I was on the Predators. They go up 2-0. It's 2-2. Then Borowiecki gets a 5-minute major for elbowing, and the Jets just took over in the 3rd period. It made me extremely angry. They've lost 3 of their last 4. The penalties they have are just, and also they're 2-1. They were up 2-1 after 20 minutes. They were up 2-0 early. They were 17-0 this year when leading after the 1st period, and they fell apart. But Duchesne's playing his best hockey in a few years. Forsberg maybe playing his best hockey in his career, 10 points in his last 6 games. So I agree with you. I think the Nashville Predators -1. I just hate that the Capitals are coming off that 4-1 loss, but there seems to be real problems with this hockey team. The power play isn't succeeding. Samsonov's not playing well, and so I agree. I'm going to take Nashville -1.
It's always tough to bet against or to know what to make of a team that's really struggling, but with a legit star that's like in your mind as on the Mount Rushmore of players in that sport. You know what I mean? It's just always hard. You're like, Ovechkin could take this game over and win it himself, but if he does, all right. I don't like taking a favorite. I'll lose more than a unit, but I'm seeing -138 on the money line at Heritage, and I'll make that one official. Nashville money line -138. You can make that one an official play. All right, Jim.
Nashville -138. You are in. I'm going to move on Nashville on the -1 line. And Real Deal Prime says, why are the Caps the dog here again? They're just playing bad hockey. And then Dennis says, circle the wagons. Give me Washington.
That's not great. All right, who said that? Dennis Garcia? Fuck.
Yeah.
I don't usually curse in these shows, Jimmy the Bag, but
I know you don't. I know you don't.
Oh, man.
Okay. Well,
circle the wagons. Give me Washington. All right. Well, I already made it official.
They're an angry squad. I don't like, but Samsonov has just not been very good, and the Predators are also an angry squad. So I'm okay with it, but that makes me very nervous. Let's move on to the next spot on the card.
All right. Yeah, I made it official. Yeah, the Preds are also a little bit angry and pissed off about the penalties and everything. All right. Next one, Dallas, Colorado. Right, Jim?
No. Next up is 9 p.m. Columbus.
Okay. Columbus, Calgary. Calgary, speaking of Dennis Garcia, awesome call on Calgary's awesomeness. They're rolling, right? We see this, pretty much every year, sometimes multiple times in the NHL. I remember when it happened with Columbus one year. You remember that, Jimmy the Bag? Where one team is just winning game in and game out, and they're not going to let down the next game. They're going to win 15 in a row, 25 in a row, whatever, until it stops. Calgary has that vibe to them, right? So I was thinking maybe even a Calgary team total over, even at 3.5, even though they've been putting up a ton of goals game in and game out recently. And maybe even at this line, Columbus obviously very beatable. No brainer. Don't overthink it. Calgary -1, maybe -1.5, maybe team total over. Is there any reason not to expect the winning to continue for Calgary here?
Well, the Jackets are playing their best hockey of the season, and I could have got the -1.5. I believe it was at -105 last night. It was -110 this morning. It's now -120. I did though take the over 6 at -120.
Yeah, I was thinking about that as well. Yeah,
I did move on that. That's moved 5 cents in my book. Daryl Lyle's also liking the over. Blue Jackets, Flames, Merzlikins, Markstrom. Merzlikins starting to look a little better. Markstrom's been great all season long. Columbus power play at 17.2%, penalty killing at 80%. Calgary power play 21.4%, penalty killing 84.5%. And the Jackets have swept the first 3 games of this road trip. They've won each game by 1 goal. And they're coming off a 2-1 win at Montreal on Saturday night. They were outplaying the Habs quite badly. But they scored the winning goal with 5 or 6 seconds left, and it was Line. He's running right now. 7 goals, 5 assists in his last 6 games. And look, the Flames are playing excellent hockey. They're coming off their 6th straight win, 5-2 at home over the Islanders on Saturday night. They've outscored their opposition 25-9 over their winning streak. And this is the 4th game of a 7-game homestand, which is a really good spot to be in. And Markstrom's been so good. I mean, he's a 3-0 in his last 3 starts, 1.33 goals against average, and has saved 93 of 97 shots. In saying that, do I really want a heavily juiced -1.5? Not heavily juiced, now heavily juiced -1.5. I was like, I don't know if I do. I don't know if I do. So I stayed off of it. Big shout out to Fat Wally in the house. Great to see you, Fat Wally, my man.
There's a bad sign, Jimmy the Bag. I'm just sitting here and being like, what do I think about this game? I'm just going to stare at the comments section and wait to see what Dennis Garcia says. That's not a sign of handicapping confidence in oneself, Jimmy the Bag. I think that they roll. I think the over is probably I was leaning that way as well. I mean, Columbus playing the best hockey of the year, you said. Beating Montreal by 1, that's a loss in my book. Beating Buffalo in OT. We talked about how much Washington is struggling. They beat them by 1. They beat Montreal again. And then they went up against Florida at home and got absolutely blown the F out. So they look to me like a team that is going to be very vulnerable against any kind of elite squad, which Calgary absolutely counts as right now. Right, Jim?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, look, I get it. I completely get it. Back in the Flames here. I just didn't want the juice puck line here. I'm more comfortable taking the over.
Right.
And that's what I did.
All right, let me see. I'll make a play here. And what about just Columbus is one of the worst teams defensively in the league, right? I mean, they just give up goals left and right, right?
Yes, but they're starting to fix that a little bit. And I've really fallen for this Boone Jenner, Gustav Nyquist, Patrick Laine line. I really like the line. I haven't said anything good about Columbus all year, but I love the different skill sets of all 3 of those and the way they can work together. And so I've really fallen for that line. But yeah, look, everything you're saying is true. Dennis Garcia says I got nothing. -290-ish is a tad high, and you won't find anyone that believes in Calgary more than I do.
Right. Okay, well, I got to take Calgary here. I think they're going to roll. I either got to take them on the money line, the -1 line, or the -1.5 line. And I'll take them just to be safe. I'll take them on the -1 line at -216. I think that they're worth a shot there. I understand that might be a little bit of a mistake, and I will bet that one, and I will bet it, appropriately. So it won't be a huge loss if it loses. But Calgary is just rolling now. Columbus coming off of a bunch of wins against very vulnerable teams. Now they're going on the road. And, if one way or another, Calgary pulls it out. So I'll take that one officially at Pinnacle. Calgary -1, -216, Jimmy the Bag.
Billy Friedrich says Flames are only 3-7 on the puck line last 10 at home. Columbus 6-4 on puck line last 10 on the road. Nut Flush Allen says that he's found success when the puck line's too hhigh to look at the team total. And that would work for me because I'm on the over. So I get that for sure.
Yeah, I mean, is there? So you're sorry. So you're saying that Columbus is because they held Montreal to 1 and Buffalo to 3, that maybe they're tightening up defensively a little bit. They went up against Florida, gave up 8. Right?
Yeah, well, that was the low point in the season when the coach just got all over them, and so Tokarski has been confirmed for the Sabres. Tokarski has been confirmed for the Sabres. Wow. What's the Islanders team total? Wow.
It's got to be low because the total in that game is low.
Just gonna run over to this Islander spot here and this team total here quickly. See what we are dealing with. The
3.5 though, plus money though.
Oh damn. Okay. Maybe the over 5.5 is the play. Eric Jones in the house. Maybe that over 5.5 is the play. I think I might take the question marks off of it and move on it. Okay.
Is there any way that Calgary will have a letdown here against a very beatable team?
Well, they get lazy on the 4th game of a 7-game homestand when they've swept the first 3. It's not the game in the homestand that I adore, because in the 7-game homestand, I love the 6th game of the homestand, even the 5th.
They just seem like they have mojo right now, and it wasn't that long ago that they were losing 8 out of 10. You remember that, Jim? Right?
Oh yeah, they were on a losing streak and falling apart. Yeah, I do think that they're going to have some more excitement with Toffoli in the lineup. This is a team that's rolling right now.
All right. Well, I made it official, and I won't double up with the team total over, although Nutflesh Allen is probably right. The team total over is probably a significantly better bet than the puck line at -1. But I'll just take it, and let's move on. How about that?
Let's do it. Slatsy says, do you know if Toffoli is in tonight? I expect him to be in because he's going from one Canadian city to another Canadian city. So because of that, I expect him to be in the lineup. But I don't have any word that he will be or won't be, but I do expect him to be in the lineup.
Okay, you want to move on?
Yeah, let's roll. I look forward to this next game.
All right, shout out to Jacqueline Martin. Shout out to Billy Friedrich. Shout out to Slatsy. All right, next one is Dallas.
By the way, sorry, I forgot to mention, Billy Friedrich did find you a better line on Nashville, 3 cents better. He found it for you at Bookmaker -135. So shout out to Billy Friedrich.
Billy Friedrich, I wish it was your birthday every day so I could wish you happy birthday and give you a birthday pick every single day, Billy Friedrich. All right, we move on, Jim?
Yes, let's move on to this fascinating game in Colorado.
Yeah, obviously Colorado is they have everyone back now, or almost everyone. And, Dallas, 2 decent wins since the break before losing to Colorado. As far as the money line is concerned, it's got to be, I think, Colorado or nothing, but I wouldn't want to bet that one. The last game went under, though. I'm thinking over here, Jim. And I saw 6 when it opened. I think it's moved to 6.5, but I'm thinking over here, Jim.
It hasn't moved to 6.5.
Yeah, yes, Pinnacle did the plus money. Let me see. It's kind of all over the place a little bit. Oh,
it's minus 120 here, where I can bet it. So, yeah, okay, well, let's talk about this spot. So, now, look, it's easy to question the Dallas Stars' heart. And I've done it many, many, many times. But they were beaten badly by Colorado in front of their own fans. And let's see what the market move has been. Because I will be betting the Dallas Stars first period in this hockey game. I just don't see how a division rival that's the favorite to win the Stanley Cup comes into your barn and destroys you. I don't see how you don't get very, very angry. You have no game in between. Now you get to go to Colorado. How do you not have laser focus and step up in the first period? I just, I don't. It's going to be a very interesting spot where we get to see what kind of heart they have.
Yeah, I mean, you did kind of accurately identify Dallas as a team that kind of like really lets down when they have nothing to play for or when they get fat and happy, but that they have a high ceiling when they're motivated.
I really like Rupee Hintz and Jason Robertson and Pavelski. I wish that line had more size. Nice to have Boone Jenner on that line. But I wish that line had more size. But they're just so electric. And look, they were just embarrassed. And this is a spot where historically I've had a lot of success with when a division rival gets trashed by the better team. Look, I know Colorado is the better team, but then they go back to Colorado after being trashed. Historically, I expect them to step up. So, so Stars had their 2-game winning streak snapped. Kemper only had to make 23 saves. That's it. And Klingberg got hurt. So Klingberg got hurt. We don't know if he's going to be in the lineup here. And I just, this Avalanche seems to be unbelievable at home. And they're killing 91.7% of their penalties since January 15th. So I am going to move on the Dallas Stars first period.
Wow.
And I'm going to wait because I expect the Avalanche to take more and more and more money all day.
All right, and just very quickly, I'm seeing 6 minus 125 for the total. I mean, if Dallas comes to play, Dallas is capable of putting a lot of shots on goal, and Colorado, of course, is a great offensive team. Why would you not like the over?
Yeah, the over does make sense here. The over does make sense. I got it. It's still minus 120 where I am at. So.
Oh no way! Oh, I'll take that one. I'll take Dallas, Colorado over 6 minus 120. You're seeing that, right, Jim?
Yep. Right here.
Over 6 minus 120. I'm also seeing over 6 minus 120 at Heritage for the Columbus-Calgary game. That sounds like a good bet as well, right, Jim?
Yeah, I bet it at that.
All right, I'll hold off on that, but I just did notice that. But I'll make the Dallas game official. Over 6 minus 120.
Over 6 minus 120 is locked in. All right, we just have one game left in NHL, and then the rest of the show will be in basketball. Billy Friedrich says, is Holtby in net tonight? I expect Holtby to be in net, and he's vulnerable. I think that over makes a ton of sense. I think I think I should jump in on that over because if I'm right and the Stars get out to an early lead, Avs are going to be coming back. So I like it. Piker says, across the entire NHL board today, the only dog taking enough money to move the line towards it is Edmonton. So, and Sammy Comer saying Ottinger is expected. So I would, if I was the coach, I'd be playing Ottinger over Holtby. So I like your look on the over 6. I think I may join you.
Okay, move on.
Yep.
All right, Edmonton and the Kings, an interesting game. You mentioned it before. The Kings, for the Christmas break, were low energy and then got it together after that. They are reportedly aware of that. Also, I'm assuming that Smith is in goal for Edmonton, and that's not good. We like to fade him, at least last I heard from all you guys. Edmonton on a back-to-back. They do though have an interim head coach, right? Jay Woodcroft. They've won 2 games since then, so they've already gotten their 2 wins since he took over, but they might continue to get a boost from that. But and since Evander Kane, they've also been playing well. So Edmonton is not necessarily in a down spot here, but it does clearly seem like a spot where LA is going to be focused at the very least. I was thinking about maybe an over, maybe the Kings team total over. Maybe if Edmonton loses, it's super high scoring. What's your take on this one, Jim?
I've moved on 2 bets in this game. So I bet the under 6.5. I got minus 115. It is available now, minus 120 in my book. So just a 5-cent move there. And I got in on the Kings too early. It went from minus 140 down to minus 130. I moved on it. Now it's down to minus 120. And Dennis Garcia says, kind of just want to ride Edmonton until they lose. Tom McClellan is a fiery guy. He's a fiery coach. And he was livid with this team after what they did over the Christmas break. 8 days off. They came back. They lost 6-3 at home to Vegas. And he's being and then they won 6 of their next 7. But he was all over them. He was so angry with the team, and he's been hammering this into them in practice. And he says that the practices have been very good over the weekend. He said that there's a distinct difference in their practices in comparison to when they had the break over the holidays and they came back. And he keeps laying into them how bad they looked after the long break. And maybe I'm taking this too hard, maybe but the Kings are a good hockey team, and they should be tough to beat at home. And then you have this Islanders team that with Woodcroft, they have now, so they're 4-0-1 over the last 5 games. They outshot the Sharks 41-20, and they held an opponent to 1 goal or less for the second straight game. They hadn't done that in the last 30 games before Woodcroft came. And now Woodcroft is here, and they're just tightening everything up. They're playing road, almost playoff hockey. And the Kings have the type of players in Philip Danault, and they have size, and they have defensive, accountable hockey players that can stymie McDavid and stymie Draisaitl. And so I thought the under 6.5 was a great opportunity. Now, if you look at the Kings' home games of over the last 10, there's a lot of overs. But if you go back even further, they were playing unders at home. So I expect McClellan to be right in their grill. I expect them to play well, and we have the Oilers on the second half of back-to-back, so we're going to have a very rested team. Again, oh, by the way, Hamilton is out, says Parisian Luxury. Hamilton is out. Dougie Hamilton, we thought he'd be in there. So,
all right, well, I took the over, so all right, that's not great for the over, right, Jim?
No, it is not. So, look, I think the Kings are a better team than their record indicates. I wouldn't be surprised if they go on some kind of a run, not a big run or anything, but I expect them to get into the playoffs. And this is a nice opportunity for them to do much better than how they looked in this similar situation over the holidays.
So if he gets in their grill, like you said, that includes defensive intensity, right, Jim?
Well, McDavid and Draisaitl, you automatically have defensive intensity. They're too dangerous. So just knowing that, just seeing 97, the number out there, you're like, oh, we got to be ready to go. And Philip Danault is the perfect center to go up against this team. Perfect. So
what about I'm thinking about the Edmonton team total under at 3.5 minus 155. Even though they've been winning recently, they still haven't been getting to 4 goals. I know it's scary to bet with team total unders with Edmonton, but what's your thoughts on? What are your thoughts on that?
It's just too juiced. It's just
Is it?
too juiced. But if they're taking money, I wonder if you wait and make that bet in 5 hours or 8 hours if you'll get a less juice. It's just too juiced for me. But it goes with my plan. But also I'm going to cash this if the Oilers win 4-2. So I'm cashing the under 6.5.
Right.
But I like the Kings here. I like the Kings.
Oh man.
I like the Kings. I like that everybody watched the Oilers beat up on the Sharks last night. I think that's a great opportunity to bet the Kings. And the mistake I made was I waited till a market moved, but I should have waited for longer because would have got a better line. But.
So the Kings, so the Oilers are changing up their style of play with this new coach. Then is what you're saying?
Clearly, yes, yeah.
Clearly. All right.
Just playing accountable hockey, and yeah.
All right, I'm going to do a little cap and the capper stuff here. I'll tell you on this one. I'm seeing 6 minus 120. I will take under 6.5. Yeah, 6.5 minus 120. I'm seeing that at Heritage, and doesn't matter who's in goal for you for the Kings.
Yeah. Quick was looking so good earlier in the year. Now it doesn't matter. All right. I imagine it'll be Quick though.
All right. Okay. I guess that's it for NHL. Wow. Ricky Levine, Kings, very gritty team. They come to play every game.
Yeah, I like what I've seen from them. I think they'll just continue to get better. And you can get minus 118 at Bookmaker. Thank you.
There you go. Billy Friedrich. Thank you very much. Billy Friedrich hooks me up with 2 or 3 birthday presents every show. Shout out to Billy Friedrich.
All right, so that is our NHL coverage. Next, we are going to move into Pete's NCAA looks. But before we do that, let's just review NHL quickly. Ron Crawford spreadsheet play today, St. Louis -125 in regulation. If Husso is in net, I'm going to bet the under in this hockey game. If he's in net. Then Pete is on the over 6 at -125 in Tampa Bay, New Jersey. I'm going to be on the Flyers first period. I'm going to be betting the Flyers first period at a big line. And I'm going to add the over 5.5 Islanders Buffalo. I'll have to see what sort of market movement has happened in that spot with the announcement that Tokarski's in goal. And Tokarski's a goaltender I would like to fade. I'm on the Rangers -1. I slightly beat the line. I got getting a plus line there. Pete is on Nashville -135. I'm going to add Nashville -1. Dennis is on the other side, which makes me nervous. But I just think the Predators at home right now with the difficulty the Capitals are having scoring power play goals, that this should be good. Pete's on the Flames -1 at a huge price, -216. I'm on the over 6 at -120, but the Flames are playing very good hockey. And Jason Falk can get that -1 down to -210 for you.
Oh, what a comment section. Hell yeah. Thank you so much, Jason Falk. Shout out. That shit really matters. Thank you so much, Jason Falk.
Pete is on the Dallas, Colorado over 6 at -120. I think this is a shrewd look. I think that we're benefiting off the 4-0 game on Sunday. I'm going to be on the Stars first period, and I'm going to tail you on the over. So I've got some Stars written there, but I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait on the first period. There's Fap win. Fap win on a team total over 71.5 for Longwood. We're going to be there shortly. Pete ran with me on the under 6.5 in Edmonton, LA. I'm also on the Kings -1, and that is our NHL coverage. So we move on to NCAA basketball. We have the taint play of the day. So I would like to start with the taint play of the day, Pete. But before we do, let's review your record here. It's been very good. 28-22. You're hitting at 56% plus 3.83 units. Your ROI plus 7.66% with average line -110. Great work in college basketball. So let's start with the taint play of the day. And it is Providence at +4.5 here. He says the Dunkin' Donuts Center will be rocking tonight. He's also going to be on the money line. So let's just give a big shout out to our guy, the taint play of the day, and Matty Ice on Providence. And when this clip ends, Pete, take it away. Tell us why you are also, and Daryl Lyles also. Daryl Lyles play of the day is on Providence. Take it away, Pete.
This was the first pick that I mentioned in the show when we started this show back an hour ago. I guess it does concern me a little bit. I'll be honest with you, Matty Ice. It does concern me a little bit that the line made a little bit not perfect sense to me when it came out and hasn't moved since. I bet it at 4.5 when it came out. And I was thinking, well, should I tweet this out? I was like, when we get to the show, it's going to be 3.5. It might even be 2.5. It's not. I'm still seeing 4s everywhere. Probably we can get a 4.5 because it's juiced a little bit towards Villanova. Obviously, Villanova is an awesome team, but Providence can definitely hang with them. Villanova is a little bit banged up, not fully banged up, but a little bit, which is kind of nice to see if you're taking a home dog like this. Again, the more time that goes by and the line doesn't move in Providence's favor, it makes me a little bit nervous. But we've seen this many times before. In the college basketball markets, even this year, even in this show, even if with picks that I've discussed, the market moves in the opposite direction that I would think it would move, and it turned out that the market was wrong. So we'll see what happens, but I bet it, max bet for myself, and I absolutely cannot not give that as an official play. If you can get 4.5 anywhere, I'll take it. Providence
4.5 at -115, Pete.
I'm sorry,
4.5 at -115.
Okay, I will take that. I'm going to check at Pinnacle right now. Might be able to get a little.
That is Pinnacle.
Oh, that is Pinnacle. All right, sure. I'll take that one.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up Pinnacle. I'll pull up Circa, and I will line shop for you as best I can as we go through.
Yeah, no, I'm sure that someplace like FanDuel or someplace like that probably has 110, but it's fine. I'll take 4.5 minus -115.
-113 at Bookmaker.
Oh, there you go. Minus 113. I'll take that one. I'll take that one. Minus 113. Providence.
Great job, Billy.
Got it?
All right. Providence plus 4.5, minus 113. I'm going to see what Circa has. Pete, what's next on your card?
Well, another one where I'm a little bit confused by the line, which can be good or bad. It can be bad, but can be good. And that is what are we looking at here? Central Michigan, Eastern Michigan. I took Central Michigan. I got +1. And now it's wait. Let me just hold on. Let me just find my notes here. Find my notes.
Oh, you're right. Circa is hanging the minus 110 on that. So let's take it down. 4.5 minus 110 on Providence.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Eastern Michigan blew them out already earlier this year, but Central Michigan has been improving a little bit. They got blasted in their last game, which I think sets them up to want to get a win here. It's a little bit forgivable against Western Michigan. They were in a dog. They were a dog for most of their games before their last game, and they were covering. So now they're in a spot where all they need to do is get a win. Again, my only concern about this one is why the line is where it is and why it hasn't moved. It's possible that someone's out that I don't know about, but I bet it. And I'll make that one official as well, since I can't not make it official. So Central Michigan, yeah, there you go. +1 minus 108 at Pinnacle. Yeah, I'm not exactly here. Let me God, line shopping in college basketball is so friggin' hard.
I will help. I got FanDuel up as well, so I got FanDuel, Circa. I'm gonna help with this. So keep rolling.
Central Michigan. I'll just write down +1 minus 108. But if you can get like a money line of +100 or something like that, I'll take that one. But
there's a +102 at FanDuel. There's a +1.5 at minus 114.
Wait, there's a money line at FanDuel +102.
Yes.
Yeah, all right, I'll take that. I'll take that one. Central Michigan money line +102. I'll take that one. Again, just not exact. The numbers like Central Michigan. Not exactly sure why the market is where it is. Let me just look at the comment section here. See if anyone has any comments on what I'm saying. All right. Okay. Yeah. Cashman 19 says Providence looked bad against DePaul over the weekend. Yeah. It's a tough conference, and sometimes you're going to have off games where you look bad. But Villanova's also a little bit banged up, and I think the Providence will come to play. JP, go ahead.
Yeah, JPC also with you on Central Michigan money line, and our man Michigan Mel found you that 4.5 at minus 108 at Bet Rivers.
Hell yeah! Oh gosh, yeah. See, if you line shop a little bit, you can get significantly better numbers, which is yet another reason why people don't understand that our record keeping doesn't involve perfect exhaustive line shopping. We kind of just take whatever we see, and then if we see something a little bit better, we take it. Or if someone in the comment section quotes a line, shout out to you, Michigan Mel.
Couple notes here, Pete. That'll be what I'll line shop and give you what's coming in from the cappers. Michigan Mel found you a +104 on Central Michigan over at Bet Rivers. Billy Friedrich says Jermaine Jackson still out for Central Michigan, number 2 scorer for the team.
Yes, I was aware of that, and that's go ahead, Jim.
And then we have Rodney Barton agreeing with Central Michigan, said good pick. I think Eastern Michigan's lost 6 straight on the road. And Jason Folk says, I'll take Providence money line pre-flop. And once they hit that first round, I'll jump on Nova and have the plus money action on both sides before halftime. That's how he's expecting to attack this. All right. So we're rolling. So we have 2 spots on Pete's board right now. Providence +4.5, Central Michigan +104. What's next?
Couple of other teams. Texas, Oklahoma is an interesting game. Texas is a perennially overvalued team, which is why I didn't like it when Shaka Smart became their coach, because I love to bet on Shaka Smart, but I like to bet against Texas. But in this spot off the big, margin loss at Baylor, I think they're going to bounce back in the first half. And I'm going to bet Texas on the first half at pick 'em or -0.5 or something like that. Not sure if I want to make it official, but I definitely like that. They already played once this year, and Texas, Texas beat them pretty handily. And Oklahoma, they played well against Kansas, but Texas themselves played well against Kansas and then had kind of a flop the next game. And I like Texas early here, similar to some of the other teams that we've seen off of an embarrassing loss. And then I like them in the next game back. In North Carolina was one of those. Michigan State was one of those. So I like Texas on the first half. Jimmy the Bag. I don't know if you want to line shop around a little bit and see what you can get, but Texas on the first half against Oklahoma, I will. I'll make that one official, and I'll just let you line shop. And
all right, I'm on it.
Yeah.
I am.
Oklahoma's a tough team for sure. But Texas, has to come out strong here. It's a good spot for them to rebound a little bit. And Paulie Walnuts, shout out to Paulie Walnuts. Texas on the road, not as defensive minded, it seems. Yeah, look, I don't relish betting Texas, especially as a road favorite. But here it's almost pick 'em, and I'll give them the benefit of the doubt for this spot. I hope Chris Beard can motivate them. And hopefully not just for the first 3 minutes and then they fall back. This one's a little bit dicey, but I bet it, and so I'll make it an official play. Let's see other comments here that are coming in. Let's see. Billy Friedrich, Texas is -0.5 at -108 at bookmaker. I'd love to get some kind of money line at like -119 or something like that. Let's see. What else did I bet? And I did the same thing. Let me see. It's just so many games. Let me see. What else did I bet here? And I did the same thing, similar situation, same kind of deal with Northern Iowa. Northern Iowa going up against Illinois State. Illinois State, can be good against. Hold on one second. Let me just find my notes here.
I can get you Texas first half money line -112 at circa.
Okay, I'll take that one. Texas first half money line -112. I don't like this one as much as the others, but I bet it, and I'll make it official. Similar situation with Northern Iowa against Illinois State. Illinois State, 3 straight ATS losses, and they have done well against top teams at home this year. They're not looking in great form right now. Indiana State, I'm kind of down on statistically at the moment, and Illinois State should have done a little bit better than they did against them in their last game, I think. And Northern Iowa got absolutely blown the F out on the road in their last game. And Illinois State also has a tendency to start slow. A lot of factors that I'm liking here that favor Northern Iowa. I also took a shot with the under at 146. I like that one as well. Let's see where that line is. I like the under too. Where is that? I've got so many games. What's the total in that one? Where is it? I got 146, and now it's 144.5, right? So I like the under as well, and I like Northern Iowa on the first half. What can you get me on Northern Iowa first half, Jimmy the Bag?
All right, I will be shopping for Northern Iowa first half for you, Pete. You can keep rolling, my man.
Look at that, and I'll do some line shopping, and I might also take a shot with the under as well if I can get like 144.5 or 145. I definitely bet that one. All right, let me see. I remind myself, what else did I bet? Also Clemson. I kind of like Clemson against Florida State. Florida State is still pretty banged up, and Clemson coming off of a tough loss. But I think hold on one second.
All right, I've got a Northern Iowa first half -2 at -109.
Okay, first
I'll
half
keep shopping.
-109. What'd you say?
I'll keep shopping. See if I can get you.
Okay, thank you very much, Jimmy the Bag. I bet the under on this one as well at 137.5, and I took Clemson at +2. Florida State, of course, awful ATS recently. A lot of injuries. Their leading scorer, Caleb Mills, was banged up in their last game, and Clemson should get that guy David Collins back, and Clemson already beat Florida State a few games ago and covered at home, and so I took the under. And I took Clemson at +2 as well. Under, I got 137.5, and I took Clemson +2 as well. Not sure if I want to make those official, but I definitely took them. Let me see. What else did I take? What are the other plays?
We did beat it. We got first half -1.5, -106. But the best we can find for that total is just a 144. It's 143.5 at circa.
Okay. -1.5, -106?
Yes. First half -1.5.
All right, I'll take that one, and I'll think about taking the under as well. I also took a shot. This is just a percentage play, might be wrong, but I did take a shot with the under 134.5 Florida Texas A&M. Under 134.5 Florida Texas A&M. Hold on, let me find it. Hold on. Jesus, where is it?
That totals at 134.5. Juice to the under at Pinnacle -119 to the under.
Yeah. Florida and the under. Let me find it. Let me find all my friggin' notes here. Hold on one second. Yeah. Tyree Appleby.
133 at Circa.
Go ahead.
It's 133 at Circa. It's 134.5 at Pinnacle. So a 1.5 better over at Pinnacle.
That's not it. That's a terrible sign. That's a terrible sign right there. And again, this is not necessarily. It's just the numbers liked it. Tyree Appleby a little bit banged up for Florida, and Florida off of the huge loss at Kentucky. I think they should bounce back here at least defensively. And so, it's kind of a must-win game for Florida as far as the NCAA, tournament is concerned. So I think that they should clamp down on defense. They should be able to. And it's one of those games that I think should sneak under. So I did bet it at 134.5. Not sure if I want to make it official. Very bad sign that it's 134.5 at Pinnacle and 133 at other places. Let me see what I also took a shot with Bradley at +1. I took a shot with UC San Diego at +5.5. Let me see what else. And I took a couple of other small shots I don't really want to mention. I took a small shot with Ball State -8.5. I don't like the spot for Northern Illinois, and Ball State should be able to get a double-digit win more often than not. So I took a small shot with that, and I guess that's about it for the plays that I bet that I want to identify. In the Michigan State game, Penn State, that's interesting. I would lean Penn State at +3. Now it's 2.5, but I'm not going to bet that. But definitely lean Penn State. Let me see. Lean over in the Buffalo Bowling Green game, and let's see what else do we got. That's just about it. And also, lean TCU against Iowa State. Miles being back for TCU is big. TCU stumbled a bit with him out, and if TCU wins, which they should, I think they should win by a margin. So a lean to TCU as well, even though in a game like this with a low total, it should be competitive. Giving 4 points is a lot, but that's a lean as well. But I definitely bet UC San Diego at 5.5. I took Florida, Texas A&M under 134.5. That might be a mistake. I took Ball State a little bit -8.5. I took Clemson +2, the Clemson under at 137.5. Illinois State, Northern Iowa under 146. I took Bradley +1. Maybe I'll make that one official. I don't know, Jimmy the Bag. Any comments, any questions coming in from the comment section?
For sure, cash all over. Ball State likes that spot that you have there. Ron Crawford, NCAA, spreadsheet play days on Mizzou at +7.5. So he's moving on Mizzou at +7.5 from Ron Crawford. Matty Ice is on MSU first half. I'm just going to say first half there. And we have another look before we move on to NBA. We got TrotWAM ready for NBA here in a second, but Jose Bouquet, fresh off a winning Super Bowl with 12 bets. I couldn't believe it. That's tough to do, man. He is rolling with us. He's got an NCAA look. So please, without further ado, welcome. Well, let's just pop her on the screen quickly. But without further ado, welcome Jose Bouquet. Say hey, play of the day. Oh, one hole, my man. How are you? And what's your move?
I'm doing well. And I think we're going to do something we haven't done before. Peter.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've seen my winning bet that I've done with a lot of people, including the person coming on next on the show. I challenge you, Pete, to a stake bet.
Oh, he's talking about the Texas game. Here you go.
No. I'm talking about what is considered the luckiest team in college basketball history, according to KenPom. Providence. Providence is according to KenPom, that is the college basketball reference, the Fangraphs for college basketball. They are the luckiest team. They have a luck stat. Luckiest team they've ever tracked on the website so far.
I knew that.
I knew you knew that. They are right now in KenPom's ranking. They are 49th. 49th. Villanova right now is 9th. I'll take those 4.5 points. No problem. I don't know anything about Villanova, honestly, Pete.
Oh, shit.
I don't know anything about Providence. You could ask me to name one player on this team. I couldn't do it. But I listen to a college basketball podcast. They turned me on to Ken Palm and their rankings. They let me know that Providence is technically the luckiest team ever right now. And Villanova, they have a 2-game lead on Villanova in the Big East. Villanova needs to win these 2 games to cut the lead down. Obviously, Providence needs to win them to clinch the Big East, basically, and win the Big East. They haven't done that in a really long time. But I think Providence is obviously a lucky squad, and I think Villanova comes in and gives them a little slap in the math.
Oh shit!
Very exciting. So you'll take the 4.5 for the stake bet if he agrees to it. We'll have to wait and see if he's agreeing to the stake bet.
Yeah,
I'll agree to it, not because I like going head to head against a capper who I admit is better than me right now, but for the purposes of the video, for the purpose of making killer content, I'll take it. If it's good for ratings, I'll do it, even if it's negative EV for myself personally.
Well, Pete, you'll be happy to know that the stake bets, the ROI, if you're not named TrotWAM, it's low. So you've got a good chance.
Okay. Wow. Jose really stepping up the game. Jose might be even lapping me right now as a handicapper, let alone better than me, Jimmy the Bag. Who is this guy, Jose, Jimmy the Bag?
He's running hot, man. He's been excellent on this show. He did make 100-1 bet in the Super Bowl that didn't come through, but it made his average line now. His average line with 182 bets, his average line is plus 172 now. So
fuck him.
Deceptively, people used to say I was the most interesting man in sports betting, which I am pretty interesting. Jose might not even just be a better handicapper than me right now. He might even be more interesting than me right now, Jimmy the Bag. Who is this guy?
Wait until the mustache comes back, Pete.
Wow.
I love it. We have Jose in action, stake bet in play, and we have Jose on Nova -4 and -112. Are you okay with the 4 -112?
I'll take whatever line you give me. It doesn't matter. Nova's going to win by 10 plus.
Jesus, look at the confidence. Going up against Taint, going up against Daryl Lyles, and going up against Pistol Pete Loshak.
But this is like normal, not like filet mignon or nothing like that, right? It's just like a regular fucking steak.
Well, I owe a good amount of steaks, so we'll see. But obviously, when it comes to Wham, I want the top shelf.
Okay.
Maybe with you, we'll be nicer. But
okay, thank you. I appreciate that. Give me like a calf, whatever's a cut on the calf.
I'll take like a sirloin, a 7-ounce sirloin. That fits my bank.
Sirloin's a good bang for the buck.
Flank steak.
Man.
Okay, and it's medium well too, because I'm not an animal like Jimmy.
There you have it. Very exciting. So, Pete, are you adding anything to your official picks here on the show? I'll review the 4 official college basketball picks. Again, the Taint play of the day and Pete are on Providence plus 4.5. So is Daryl Lyles play of the day on Providence 4.5. And Jose is going right up against them. He's taking the -4.5 for the stake bet, but he's moving on Nova -4. Pete's also on Central Michigan plus 104. Texas first half -112. Northern Iowa first half -1.5 -106. And Ron Crawford's NCAA spreadsheet play of the day is on Mizzou at plus 7.5. Anything you want to add, Pete?
I kind of would like to add a bunch of other plays, but TrotWAM's waiting, right?
Yeah, but if you want, this is important. If you want,
I told everyone what my leans are, and all those leans I bet. So maybe I'll add a few officially at the end of the show. But let's go to TrotWAM. Okay. How about that?
All right, let's move on to NBA. We have our expert joining us from Compton, California's own TrotWAM in the house. Wham Bam, how are you, my friend?
What's up, guys? Let me make sure my shit is right. You know what I'm saying? No reason to not see the background. I'm feeling good, bro. I'm feeling good. Jose is making me vegan and shit on the show, but it's totally fine. It's totally fine. Fuck Jose's steak bets that he's forcing us to do, Pete. Or like, what type of guy is he, man? He's supposed to be a good, loving guy.
We have great news. Wham. We have great news. Check this out.
Everybody in the audience, now listen to me carefully, is being given a special package, and I don't want you to open it.
This shit ain't right, bro.
All right, open your boxes. Open your boxes. 1, 2, 3.
I get a steak. I get a steak. I get a steak. I get another steak.
Yo, you a dirty motherfucker for that one, Jose. I love it.
I love it. I love it. Now.
I love it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, we providing unlimited supply of flank steak for my guy.
Flanks are coming out, man.
You got
Flanks
the
are
flanks,
coming
bro.
out. All right, let's move into NBA. Very excited to cap this card with you. Wham bam. Pistol Pete, is it cool if I set it up and then hand it over to you, and then you decide if you want, and then we'll go to Wham?
Yeah, I'm still sitting here going like Providence, the luckiest team in the history of college basketball. Oh God. I'm getting buried by Jose Bouquet.
He said he got a lucky stat, though.
Yeah, you can do that.
I'm not afraid of that lucky stat.
You're not? Okay. All right.
But
okay.
I mean, I've been losing, so don't listen to me. Don't listen to me. Get your name and face changed.
Let's get to work.
All right, let's get to it.
There was a chance if Jose had not have succeeded with the 12 Super Bowl bets that he could have lost some of his confidence. But I can just imagine when Cooper Kupp was announced MVP, he just lost his shit and got even more confident. Okay, so let's go. Everything is up and ready to rock. We start at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Cleveland Cavaliers 35-22, 17-13 on the road at Atlanta Hawks 26-30, 16-13 at home. We're at State Farm Arena in Atlanta, Georgia. Cleveland over their past 5, 4-1, running the third slowest pace in the NBA at 95.80 possessions a game, while Atlanta is 1-4 over their past 5, 14th at pace at 99.50 possessions a game. Cleveland opened up as minus 1.5 point favorites at Pinnacle. Atlanta are now the favorites at -1. This total opened up at 220.5, and it has dropped to 219.5. We have 8,486 tickets in on this game. 45% of the tickets are on the Hawks and 65% of the cash. So the big bets are coming in on the Hawks. The market is moving towards the Atlanta Hawks. 47% of tickets are on the under, but 73% of cash. So bigger bets are coming in on the under, and it's moving towards the under. Cavs had their 4-game winning streak snapped in a 103-93 loss at Philadelphia on Saturday night. They're still 13-4 over the last 17. LeVert is averaging 14.7 points in the 3 games since he joined the squad. Garland has scored at least 20 points in 8 of his last 10 games, averaging 20.1 points per game and 8 assists, and he's an all-star this year. Jared Allen, Mobley, Kevin Love providing a lot of strength in their front court. Hawks coming off their second straight loss, 105-95 at Boston on Sunday. They blew a 15-point first half lead. They have gone 1-4 since they beat Phoenix on February 3rd, a win that we thought might turn things around. It has not. So their lone win since they beat the Hawks was against that Indiana Pacers team with 8 players. But there's big bets coming in on Atlanta, people trusting Atlanta. Trae Young just went for 30 and 10, and no Collins. Second straight game due to a right foot strain. I don't know if there's a chance he'll be in here now. But take it away. Well, we'll start with Pistol Pete Loshak. What do you think here, Cavs Hawks?
Yeah, I was thinking it was a spot for Cleveland, but then I see the line moving in Atlanta's favor, but then I see Ski Prophet saying that he wants to fade the Hawks here. Cleveland had kind of a bad start to their last game. They're pretty balanced. The addition of LeVert looks good. Atlanta, what's up with them? Not sure, but they look kind of slumping right now. And I was thinking Cleveland, especially first half, maybe first quarter, would be the play here. I'm liking Cleveland. Seems like Ski Prophet is agreeing with that. Market is not. What do you think, TrotWAM?
Yeah, I would agree too. And the market move does kind of make me feel a little weird. Maybe another trap spot that we've been seeing being on display over the last few days in the NBA. As far as this Cavs team, they are seeking revenge. They did lose on New Year's Eve to the same team, 118-121. They kind of were shorthanded in that game. Kevin Love did go the fuck off though. Had 35 points, 11 rebounds in the last meeting. And the first quarter is typically a good spot when they are a dog on the road. Right now they are a dog, but I would say slow down on the Cavs first quarter just because it's been 2-8 of the last 10 games. So as far as against the spread there, I'm looking here to go back to the well with Kevin Love. He was 0 for 4 last game. I expect him to have a bounce back. He needs 8 points to get to the 14,000 career points there. So I expect him to get that. And today, the points right now is at 12.5. We don't need him to score 35. We don't even need him to do half of that to get to the to 12.5. So I am taking Kevin Love over 12.5 points. That is an official play for me. But I do agree. I think the Cavs may be live here. I don't like the Hawks as far as with their team. John Collins is not going to be playing in this game. So, you can see the trees for Cleveland taking advantage down low, even though John Collins, they probably would have took advantage of him anyway. But it's just having that lack of depth at that position is probably going to be a little trouble for him. So I wish they did have marketing back. I do want them to have their other 7-footer before I full-fledged back this team. We do know since Rubio's been out, they haven't been as of what we are accustomed to of seeing this year. But I think we're going to see the same Cavs team today against the Hawks, who, I mean, let's just say they're allowing opponents the second highest 3-point percentage over the last 5 games, 43.9%. And one thing about the Cavs is that they're allowing the fewest points to opponents at 98.8 over the last 5 games. So that's the 4th fewest, I'm sorry. So I'm just going to go with the Cavs. I think they're going to play the better defense, and I think they have a little bit more incentive to bite them back in the ass after the loss that they had on New Year's Eve. So give me the Cavs as well. I'll take that as an official play at +1. Matter of fact, if we could get plus money on the money line, that's what I want to take here. But I did take the +1 with the Cavs as well. It's going to be a play for me on that aspect. But Kevin Love is the best play for me, just based off of the incentive. He got $14K on his plate today, so I think he's going to get the 8 points needed and the 13 points. I'm sorry, to go over the point total there.
Some great stuff coming from the chat. Dan Kelly says Cavs last game before isn't that a great line? Take it away, Pete.
No, I was going to say some awesome comments coming in on the chat. Dan Kelly identifying it as an obvious Cleveland play, which makes him uncomfortable. Cleveland last game before the All-Star game, which is in Cleveland. Top set, labeling it a trap. I like the Hawks here at Poker Addicted 79. First half of a home to road back-to-back facing Orlando. I think you get Atlanta's best punch tonight, and they mail it in tomorrow.
Interesting. And so, Wham, because of FanDuel does not have the Kev Love prop.
Right, it's on Bovada, Bet Online. I think at -120, -120 on both of those websites.
Over 12.5.
Over 12.5, -120. Yeah.
And did you want to add?
I was gonna say we could hold it back there because it's a play that I haven't made officially yet. I did take a stab at it last night at the -1, so that's what I'm thinking to get the money line here. But I'll slow down on adding that because what I did write down as official play was Kevin Love, so I'm gonna just stick to what I've written down. We talked about this all throughout the season, so I'm gonna just stick to this and should have a profitable day.
I love it. Jurkovic on Garland over and Capella rebound over, and North Ender moving on Kevin Love to have 3 or more threes at +165. Says attempting 7 threes per game the last 2 weeks, most on the Cavs. That is great stuff coming in. Great stuff coming in. All right, so Wham is on the board with the Kev Love player prop, and Pistol Pete and I have not done anything. We move on to 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Dallas Mavericks at Miami Heat, and we get to Dan Kelly's look on the Mavericks money line. Heat open up at -3 at -108 at Pinnacle. They've moved to 3.5 at -115. The rest of the books have moved this to 4. This total opened up at 209. You have Pinnacle at 208.5. Sports Interaction at 209.5. So mixed messages there. Let's see if we can follow the cash and if that will help illuminate anything. 6,481 tickets in, and it's a coin flip. 51% of the tickets on the Heat, 48% of the cash. Flip. And then you have 39% of tickets on the under, but 95% of the cash. So big bets have come in on the under. Wow. Okay, so we're at FTX Arena, Miami, Florida, where the Heat are 19-6 at home, going up against the Mavs, who are just 13-13 on the road. And we expect Dinwiddie to make his first appearance, and Bertans. So we expect both Dinwiddie and Bertans to be in the lineup for Dallas, which should give them a spark. They're 4-1 over their past 5, slowest pace in the NBA at 93.5 possessions a game. I'd be interested to hear what Wham's thoughts if Dinwiddie will speed up that pace, which is likely. Miami 5-0, 22nd in pace at 98.10 possessions a game. Dallas had their 4-game winning streak snapped in a 99-97 loss at the Clippers on Saturday night. In 2 games since the Mavericks traded KP, Luka has averaged 48 points. He's averaging 27.2, 9.1 assists, 9 boards on the season. And Brunson with 16.1 points a game will get help from Dinwiddie, possibly Bertans. Miami comes in off their 5th straight win, 115-111 at home over Brooklyn on Saturday. Tyler Hero is back with the team, and that helps them very much. Butler, 21.8 points. Bam, 18.7 points. And Kyle back in action, and he is averaging 13 points in the team, 8.1 assists. Take it away here first. Pistol Pete, Dan Kelly on the Mavs money line. Market moving towards the Heat. Very interesting spot.
Yeah, Dan Kelly saying he likes Dallas. I was thinking about maybe a shot. Maybe the over would be a sneaky good play. I know what these teams do, but listening to your analysis, Jimmy the Bag, I was thinking maybe the over would be a decent play. Combining those two, I'm thinking maybe Dallas team total over 102.5. That's what I'm thinking, Jim. What do you think, TrotWAM?
Wham saying that Hero is out.
I see Tyler Hero's announced out yesterday here, so I don't think he's going to be available. I think he is traveling with I think he is with the team though, like you mentioned there. As far as this game is very interesting. Very interesting, man. As far as like them being 4-point favorite Miami, we know they're going to play really good defense. I think you kind of would think Dallas has a little slow on the offensive side, but I think Dinwiddie just fits so well for this team. Him being in the lineup, and then you're really not really missing too much with KP because all he's doing is shooting three to get Bertans. So just Bertans just needs to shoot it a little bit better than he has been over the last year or so, and then it'll be pretty much a wash as far as KP leaving the team. As far as defensively, I don't think that the Mavs really lost too much there as well. Got just other guys getting available for more minutes, more big usage. I like the acquisition and extending. I like the acquisition and extending Finley Smith. That's pretty good for the team culture, what they like to do there. But as far as this Heat team, I just don't want to jump in front of them. Mavs are 13-13 on the road this season against the spread and straight up. Just one of those things. I just don't feel too confident for them to be laying. For them to be the underdog in the spot is perfect for them, but I just don't feel confident going against this Miami team. I think the numbers aren't going to tell us how good this Miami team because they got guys in and out of the lineup throughout the whole year. I think they are probably one of the better defensive teams, so I can see them slowing down this pace, even though, like you mentioned, with Spencer being added, it should help these guys getting a little bit more efficient. The assist and turnover ratio should go up there. I believe what they have been over the last 5 games has been pretty bad in that aspect, 27th in the last 5 games. So I do expect that to be an uptick for them as far as limited turnovers, getting Spencer the ball more. So I do expect them to play a little bit better offensively. It's just I don't trust it right now. They're 54% effective field goal percentage, 58% true shooting, which is actually pretty good for this type of league. I mean, it's kind of top 10 in that regard there, but as far as effective field goal percentage, pretty bad. You know what I mean? So I think a lot of that has to do with what the shots that they be getting. I think they are going to improve for the Mavericks there. So it's kind of torn in between the side here, to be honest with you. But if I had to make a play on here, I would say the Mavericks, just based off of I think they're going to see an uptick in offense, and maybe to your point, they may be able to increase the pace. Dictating the pace with Miami is pretty much the way of beating them. Forcing them to shoot forcing them to shoot more shots for Caleb Martin and those guys. And I think Jimmy Butler is questionable, so that is kind of another reason why I'm thinking to lean towards the Mavericks here. Just he might not even be in the lineup, and that could be a definite big line movement there. So that's the way I'm leaning here. I haven't made a play on this game at all, but it is very interesting. I am going to be scouting this game heavy with the Spencer Dinwiddie acquisition. I want to see how that works.
Geez, a lot of great comments in the comments section. Some people thinking that Miami's really going to slow it down. Astute Chaos, Dinwiddie's going to slow the pace. He wants to be more methodical. Top Set, I think Heat will slow this down even more. Is that what we expect strategically?
You're muted.
My fault, guys. No, yeah. I think about the Denver Nuggets. Denver Nuggets are a really slow pace type team, but they're very efficient, and so they still get to find their way to get over totals here. So when I look about this team, what I mentioned as far as the assist to turnover ratio, I think that may be a little bit helpful. Having a guy that's going to distribute the ball, allow this team to be more efficient. So I would kind of still lean towards the over. I think that maybe the pace is not even going to be that fast, even though I do expect him to have a little bit rapid, more pace than what they're used to. And we know what type of coach is Jay Kidd, so I kind of don't want to touch the total here, but I would kind of agree with the over. I think the the efficiency is going to be there. Maybe not just the pace. Even if the pace is there, it's for sure going to go over because I think the efficiency is going to be there.
By the way, our guy Trooper Ayash Allah, aka Robert Cherry, found Kevin Love over 12.5 at -108 on FanDuel, and I was like, "How did I miss this?" And I refreshed it, and there it is. So that's 12 cents cheaper. So great job, Robert Cherry. Thank you, my man.
Appreciate you.
All right, very interesting. Very, very, very interesting.
But Poker Addicted says over is a nice look, and Dan Kelly says that the over is correlated with his play on the Mavs money line. So interesting stuff.
It's hit 4 of the last 5 meetings as well in this matchup. So obviously it's a new team, but historically it works too.
And I have written Dan Kelly as Mavs money line as an official play, but he will let us know what he will be making official here. And while we get the opportunity, big shout out to Dan Kelly. What a great capper. What a great guy. Dan Kelly in the house. Okay, so and Piker looking at that over right now, close to making a move. So we will see. We will see what additions. Both those are very interesting, and I'd be very excited if it kept moving. Is it possible we get a 4.5 or a 5 on the Mavs? And then I'm going to look on that over a little more. So put question marks there. So Pete and I have made nothing official at this point. And Wham is on the Kevin Love prop. Let's move on to 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Boston Celtics, 33-25, 13. Oh, and we make +4 official for Dan Kelly. So that is Mavs +4 is locked in for Dan Kelly. Beautiful. All right. We roll on. 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Boston Celtics, 33-25, 13-15 on the road. Sixers, 34-22, 16-12 at home. We got Top Set in the chat talking about Texas, all of us going down to San Antonio. By the way, I meant to do it this weekend, but I'm going to put together just a Twitter group for all of us. I know we'll fill up the 50 pretty quick because there's more than that will be in San Antonio. But we'll fill up a first group. And I know we've got some hotel information in, and some guys have already booked at that Red Roof in San Antonio on the River Rock. And we have a couple cappers who are looking for if anyone wants to split rooms and stuff like that. So we'll be in touch here. Okay, so Boston 5-0 over their past 5. Well, they've won 8 straight, but over the past 5, 13th in pace, 99.60 possessions a game. Philadelphia at 3-2, 27th in pace, and 95.90 possessions a game. And there's Razor Sharp picks in the house. Great to see you, Razor. So let's take a look at the market move here quickly in this spot. So Boston opening up is -1.5 point road favorites. That's moved up to 3. This total sitting at 210. Wow. And then let's take a look at the cash following that. 67% of the tickets on the Sixers and 61% of the cash. So it's 33 and 39 for the Celtics, and the market's moving towards them. Then we have 58% of tickets on the under, and we have no idea what the cash is at this point. And Wine Time in the house says, I'm on Celtics -3. An official play from Wine Time says the Celtics group is clicking. Sammy Culmer on the Sixers. Keep profit leaning to the under 210. And by the way, Ik Schnizzle, who's going to be rolling with us in San Antonio, says Cavs money line 2-unit play for me. Okay, the Celtics coming off their 8th straight win, 105-95 at home over Atlanta on Sunday. Tatum goes 38-10. Brown goes for 17-9. And Derek White comes off the bench and puts up 14 points. Second game since being acquired at the deadline from the Spurs. Sixers coming off their 2nd straight win, 103-93 at home over the Cavs on Saturday night. Embiid triple-double, 40, 14, and 10. So he joins Wilt as the only Sixers in history to get the 40-point triple-double. Harden not going to come back till after the All-Star break. That is the situation. We'll start with Pistol Pete. This is a big battle. Celtics, Sixers. Talk to me.
I saw this. I was leaning under, which I'm seeing Ski Profit also is leaning under. That's good news for me long term, not necessarily good news for me on this specific game. I'm leaning under. I'm very confused by it. I feel like I want to pass, but if my lean was under, Ski Profit's leaning under, and I'm glad that he agrees with me. I'm glad that I'm thinking the same way. Not sure if I'm going to bet this one, though. I want to hear what everyone has to say. Under?
I can see that. Philly is pretty much a slow tempo team, ranked 27th in pace over the last 5 games. This is a TNT game as well, so I expect there to be a lot of defense. We do know Boston has and still is the number 1 defensive rated team over the last 5 games, once 8 straight. But I mean, against this damn Philadelphia team, they haven't been able to cover the fucking spread, bro. They lost the spread 7 straight times. So Philly has owned them, winning 5 of the last 7 and covering 7 straight. It's kind of one of those things that I'm thinking here. This is a new day, new team. I do have future with the Boston Celtics to win the division at plus 1,000. So I am very heavily keying in on this game.
Nice.
This is definitely going to be, one of those games that's going to set it up if they win this game. And I definitely am going for Boston, of course. So I don't want to take the side because I have more riding on it at this point, of course. But I do think that Boston do hold it down. I do expect these guys to have rebounds available. No Drummond, so everything has to be on Embiid. Embiid is not going to be out there that long. Give me the Robert Williams double-double. It's hit 4 of the last 5 games. Over the last 6 games, he's averaging 11 points, 11 rebounds. I'm going with the Robert Williams. I got it at plus 150 on Bovada, right? Still available. You get at plus 160 on FanDuel, so that'll be the official show pick. I just refreshed it there, but I also did take the Marcus Smart over 5.5 assists. It was plus money last night. Right now it's minus 120, so we're not giving that out as official play there, but I like those 2 looks here. Robert Williams is the play that I did make, and obviously I got future riding on this Sixers on the Celtics team, so I kind of hope for the demise of the Sixers. It is going to be interesting to see James Harden with this team. Maybe Embiid continues to cook. His points is at 30, I think, for a reason, but I expect it to be a low-scoring game, so I wouldn't be betting any props there. So, yeah, I'm back on that smart wagon, bro. I'm back on the smart wagon. 7 assists over the last 2 games. He's out the corner, Ski. My boy came out the corner. At first, he was in the corner shooting threes, thought he was a jump shooter. Pulled my boy out the corner. Now they got Derek White there. We don't need you to do that. So I like this here for that. But, again, it's at minus 128 or some crazy shit before I seen on here. So I got the line movement there. But double-double for Robert Williams is the official play for me.
Wow, out at the corner, Jose. We need a new clip of Marcus Smart and Dirty Dancing, getting out the corner. Think about it, work on it. We'll talk. A little Marcus Smart, Dirty Dancing. Maybe we could close on the.
I heard you don't put baby in a corner. That's what I've heard.
See, I know you have. Okay, let's move on here. A couple things coming up. So we've moved on to double-double. Wham, the futures, because this Stu Chaos saying Wham versus Jimmy in the Atlantic futures. I've kind of let go. The trade really hurt and hurt my futures. But the when I first moved on it with Dennis Garcia's guidance and leadership at 28-1, the Sixers were minus 120. And the Nets were plus 160. The Sixers are now minus 275. The Nets are plus 800. The Celtics are now plus 600. Raptors plus 750. So it'll be interesting to watch. I do not expect to win this bet personally. I think your bet is a much higher probability than mine at this point. But Robert Williams double-double. Pistol Pete, after hearing all the breakdowns and the thoughts here, anything that you want to jump on?
I don't know, man. Astute Chaos definitely leaning under as well. And I was thinking maybe first half under. The first half under is less than 50% of the full game, just 102 juice to the under. I don't know if I want to pull the trigger on that, but lean to the under, but I won't go official with it, I guess.
We have Locke Bresner in the chat. First time seeing his name. I like the name. It says Philly plays down to weak teams. Celtics are not one of those. I don't think it's a healthy thing getting in the way of these streaks. But I think this is a really nice opportunity on the Sixers. If you were forced to make a bet here, Wham, on a side, what would it be?
I'm not going against the Sixers streak. They 7 straight covering against this team. So, it's the same fucking core. I wouldn't go against that one. And I think that's the reason why I'm not on the -1 from last night. When I looked at it last night, it was at -1. And I really was going to pull the trigger. And now, the +3 is really more tempting because I know Joel Embiid is going to live up for this game. Like, you know what I mean? It's a TNT game. You expect the guys to be there when they know the guys are around. And I would probably say lean Sixers here, but again, man, I want to catch his future, so I'm not going to say that too loudly. You know what I'm saying? But that's probably the way I would go.
This one's going to be really, really fun. By the way, Noli knows on the under, and Noli knows will be on our show tomorrow. Back in action with Noli knows will be on our show tomorrow. All right, I don't know if I have the balls to do it, but I would like to move on to Sixers. And
the best play is the under. Don't get me wrong. The best play is the under. Slow pace in the Sixers, and the best defense in the Boston. So for sure, the under is probably the best play.
If it's probably the best play, why are you not on it?
Because, man, I'm too invested already, bro. I got Marcus Smart action. I got Robert Williams action. And then also I want to make additions later on today that I'll do like some games. So I don't want to stretch myself too thin here.
Jay Peasy took the Sixers first quarter. I think that might be an excellent look. You have to imagine that they're going to come in sharp. I think
this is a big, intense game, right, Jim?
Yes.
It is, right?
All eyes on this game.
TNT, man.
It's big.
All right, I'll take the under. I'll take it. I'll go for it. 210 minus 108 at Pinnacle right now. I'll take it. Someone's telling me to take the first half instead, but I'll just take the full game.
Wow, this is NCS. He says, talk to him. If there's an edge, you bet it. Says our ski prophet. Okay, I love this. I love capping with all you guys. This is I still truly find capping NBA to be the most fun sport to cap. All right, especially with the guys that we have working together. So let's move on and let's get paid. 8 p.m. Eastern. Next up, Indiana Pacers 19-39, 6-22 on the road. Milwaukee Bucks 35-22, 19-9 home. Pfizer Forum in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. What a Jekyll and Hyde Bucks team, but the loss without Antetokounmpo in the lineup is explainable. So let's see what we are dealing with here from a market standpoint. We have Milwaukee opening up at minus 12.5. Pinnacle and Bodog moved it to 12. The other books are still hanging the hook. This total opened up at 234. We have a 234.5 hanging at Pinnacle. Then when we go over to the cash flow, 4,640 tickets in. 44% of the tickets are on the Bucks and 93% of the cash. So the bigger bet's coming in on the Bucks, but it's half point move to the other side. And then 74% of tickets are on the over, and we don't know the cash flow at this point. Ski Profit leaning towards the Halliburton assists over. North End says Halliburton put up 18 threes in 2 games with Indy, and Bucks give up the 3. So over 2.5 threes at plus 125. And by the way, Elio agreeing with you on that first half.
Yeah.
Under.
All right. I'm not going to double up on it. I'll just take one play.
Indiana comes in off their 6th straight loss, 129-120 at home versus the Wolves. Halliburton goes for 22 and 16 assists. Brissett goes for 22 and 13 boards. And even Lance Stevenson was blowing in players' ears for 21 points off the bench. Brogdon, would be great to see Brogdon play here. It would make it so much more fun, but that's unlikely with the Achilles injury. Miles Turner not coming back till after the All-Star break. Let's never mention TJ Warren's name again. I'm going to stop saying his name. Let's just cut his name. TJ McConnell and Duarte are hurt, and Isaiah Jackson day-to-day with an ankle injury. And it's, the Buddy Hield and Halliburton show in Indiana. They've now dropped 14 of 18. Bucks on the second half of back-to-back after losing 122-107 at home versus the Blazers last night. They lose back-to-back games for the first time since Jan 17th. And Antetokounmpo didn't play due to a sore ankle. He's expected to be in the lineup here. Drew Holiday went for 23 and 6 assists. Bobby Portis 17. Middleton 16, 11 and 9. Connaughton has surgery on Monday to repair an injury in his hand. Lopez still out. George Hill not expected to be in the lineup, but Antetokounmpo will be back. Take it away here. Pacers, Bucks. We'll start with Pistol Pete. What do you think?
Man, this is so frustrating. This is exactly the same as the Atlanta game last week. And, I thought that Indiana was a great fade. Instead of taking Atlanta minus the huge line, I took the team total under, which was looking great until it lost. Obviously, it's a Milwaukee spot here, right? Indiana very, very beatable. I guess maybe Milwaukee first half. Is that like a no-brainer thing that I shouldn't overthink? That's what it seems like, right, TrotWAM? No?
It's very interesting to say that too, because you got Giannis questionable for today. He did miss the last game, which they did play yesterday. So this is a second half of a back-to-back. 3-7 ATS without rest is the Bucks. No Duarte, so you're going to see somebody step up for the Pacers, and you got new acquisitions that have already made a big impact. And Buddy Hield, Tyrese Halliburton. I do love the Tyrese Halliburton assist, of course. They're going to put that shit up all the way to 9.5 now. Ain't that a bitch, to get some actual reasonable here. But the guy I'm looking at, sorry about that, and the guy that I think that continues to show that he's taken a better chance of going off on production since Tyrese been added is O'Shea Brissett. Points prop set at 12.5. Over the last 2 games where Tyrese has played, and really over the last 3 games, he's went over this total 15, 18, and 22. The last game had a double-double back-to-back game, so he's been doing a rebounding there. I like O'Shea Brissett in this game. I think what I've seen so far with him being added into the Buddy Hield, Tyrese Halliburton mix, seems like he's taking advantage of it. He's moving a lot more faster. One of the things that I don't normally watch the broadcasting or listen to the broadcasting. They made a great point about him being a quick decision maker now. Prior to him being on the team, Halliburton, O'Shea was just pretty much standing around, running the sets that were set for him because they were playing at a slower pace. Now they're going up and down the fucking floor. So I expect O'Shea to go over the 12.5 points in this game. As far as that is an official play for me, but as far as the Bucks here, it depends on are they serious or not. This is the last. Probably, I think this is maybe the last game before the All-Star break, if I'm not mistaken. So, are you going to sit? Are you going to sit Giannis? I think you probably play him because you sat him last game, so it makes sense for him to play today. It's just tough. The Pacers, since they got Halliburton, they're number 7 in offensive rating, which only was 2 games. Again, it hasn't been a big sample size here, but I've seen the difference already. Like their offense is a lot better, runs a lot more smoother. And the Bucks defense, I expected to be challenged, which it has been shown to give up 13.8 3-point makes, which someone brought up in the chat. So I'm kind of torn between fading this Indiana team right now because I really like Halliburton. I really expect Brissett to have a really good game today, especially without Duarte in the lineup. But this can be a blowout spot, and that's just all about how serious are the Bucks. The Bucks could be pretty much a good spot, like you mentioned early on, for sure. I would think that, but it's one of those things that I'm not that confident in it, to be honest with you, just based off of what I've seen from the Bucks. But I do think that they have the ability to just blow this team out early on and win by double digits. So that'll be for sure covering that spread. But for me, it's going to be O'Shea Brissett over 12.5 points. That's the official play for me in this game. But I do would say the Bucks, if they are serious, they should win and cover this game for sure.
Get a 12.5 points at -106 over at FanDuel. Pistol, what do you think?
I'm going to pass on this one. It's a tough one. No play for me.
We got you 5 extra cents too, thanks to Robert McLaren at MGM, getting you the +165 on the Robert Williams double-double. That was it. Elio, he's on the Robert Williams double-double, and Pete's on that under 210. And I want in on that game. I believe I'll be on the Sixers. And
y'all talking me in the under, man. I told myself I'm not fucking with shit that ain't written down, but that under sounds like you guys are right. I do have an edge there. I should bet that shit.
Well, rules are important. Rules are important to stick to, because I've held my no player props and I've covered every sport, and no tailing unless I have my hand in the capping. And in horse racing, it's helped enormously. And I've cut everything out of horse racing, and nothing. I don't look at any experts' analysis. Nothing. Only my own analysis, and it's changed so much for me. Great stuff, though. Let's keep rolling, and we move on to 8 p.m. Eastern. Charlotte Hornets 29, 15, 16 on the road. Minnesota Timberwolves 30 and 27, 16 and 10 at home. We're at the Target Center in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And Ski says you can always bet it later. You can write
can.
it down later. Find it on your sheet when it comes to NBA pop-up. Charlotte 1-4 over their past 5, second in pace at 103.5 possessions a game. They're playing faster than Minnesota, 3-2, fifth in pace at 102.30 possessions a game. We have in this Charlotte spot, we have this total opening up at 245, down to 244, 244 and a half. Minnesota opening up at -6, and they're at 6 at 6.5. When this total came up in the Minnesota game on Friday, and it was so high, and Ski came in and said he's on the over. He said, if you're scared, go to church. And thank God he said that, because my initial feeling was to bet the under in that game, Bulls Timberwolves, that it was too high. And then Ski, I would never shoot I know my ROI. If Ski's on one side and I'm on the other, it's best if I don't bet it, which is what I did. I didn't bet it. And then it was 27-27 after the first quarter, and I was like, ooh, I'd be feeling. And of course, it soars over, and Ski's absolutely right. I wonder what you guys think of this enormous total here. Let's see what the money has done in this spot. We have in the total, you have 75% of tickets on the under and 89% of cash on the under. And again, this opened 5 points higher than that one on Friday. So a lot of under, and then it's moved a point towards the under. Then with the spread, you have 44% of tickets on the Timberwolves and 85% of cash on the Timberwolves. Hornets coming off their 7-loss in 8 games, 125-118 at home versus Memphis. It was a wild basketball game. Unbelievably wild game there, with the Hornets down 35 at one point, and then come all the way back to only be down 4. And it was just nuts, nuts. Minnesota snapped their 2-game losing streak, 129-120 win at Indiana on Sunday. Ant goes for 37. What a player he is. A Cat, 24.1 points, 9.6 boards. By the way, I'm going to be live betting the skills competition. So at the end of this, I would like to talk just very quickly on 3-point contest and who you like, because Cat is in the 3-point contest, and that sort of took me by surprise. So I do want to touch on that after we're done all these games, and the dunk contest as well. D'Angelo, 19.1 points, 6.9 assists, and I hope that Van Fleet's knee injury is not going to hurt him for a 3-point contest, because I was really excited to watch him. Rozier, double-double, 35 and 10. LaMelo goes for 25, and Montrezl Harrell, who just gets passed around nonstop. This guy just doesn't get
cooking, man. He's cooking, bro.
He looks great. He looks great, but then he'll be passed on to some other team next year. So Harrell averaging 17.5 points, 7.5 boards in his first 2 games for the team. Pistol Pete, what do you think here? Charlotte, Minnesota.
I was kind of liking Charlotte kind of a decent amount in this one when I handicapped it on the overnight line, and maybe a little more so excuse me, in the first half. I know Minnesota is pretty dominant at home ATS wise, but Charlotte, coming off of a game where they embarrassed themselves a little bit to start. I'm liking Charlotte here, and I'm probably going to make Charlotte at least first half a play, maybe full game as well. Maybe the Charlotte team total over. Want to hear what you guys have to say, but in general, definitely liking Charlotte in this one.
And do you see Ski here? Hornets plus 225. Hornets money line.
Wow. Okay.
I understand. Okay. And I understand it, man. They've been killing the Timberwolves, bro, in recent form. And I mean, as far as what they've been doing lately, both of these teams, I could only over, bro. Like, one team over the last 3 games averaging, allowing opponents 121. The other one is 128, which is the Minnesota Timberwolves. They've been a little bit worse on the defensive side for the Timberwolves. And Charlotte, I mean, that build back because they were getting smoked, like you mentioned, man. They were getting fucking smoked by Memphis. And shout out to Babano and Ski for our Friday show. They hopped on it early and got the 4.5 cash that Memphis played really well. Shout out to you guys. I think that Charlotte maybe found their way, like a little bit more confidence. And then this is a team that you're going to get stats on. You just know you're going to be able to get points out of these 2 teams here. I can only lean towards the over. This is a play that I haven't made official here, but I'm only leaning towards the over. And I agree. I think Montrezl Harrell probably continues to eat. His points is at 13.5. He looked really well, man, over the last few games. And I think he's working out. And you know what's crazy? Seeing him play gives me another think that, maybe he doesn't really have those type of pass first guards that's been around him. Even last game, even his last think with the Washington You know, they have issues right now with guards in and out of the lineup, not really having guys available. So I think maybe in this team, he may be just spoon-fed. He may be getting spoon-fed here. So I am looking towards that as far as being an addition. Unfortunately, I didn't make any play on here, but if I was to go on the side, man, I'm only thinking 6.5 for the Hornets. I think they're going to be able to stick around in this game. So, and I understand the money line too, bro. Like I mentioned, man, they've been killing this opponent over the last 4 meetings, covered and won 4 of those last straight. I just think that the Hornets are more likely to bounce back with their shooting woes, because mostly it's been just their offense. They kind of been involved in a little bit more on defense as of late. It's been their offense has been shaky here. So I think their offense does click today against Minnesota, because they just let everybody offense click against them. So that's the only way I would be leaning here. If I was to bet this game, it will start with the over. I think the over goes over first. Then I would say Trez points, and then going towards the 6.5 at the Hornets. That's the way I would be betting in order if I'm going to bet this game.
Well, Jim, you can start off. You can give me a Hornets first half plus 3.5 minus 108. That's current line at Pinnacle. I might double up on it, but for sure, first half 3.5 minus 108. You can make that official for me.
3.5 minus 108. Well, I'm pretty sold on the Hornets at plus 6.5 right now. There is a hook at a couple books. There's a hook in my book. I find this very interesting. Piker says Charlotte being disrespected by the books after Omicron picked on them last week. I don't know if you know this, Pete, but the Omicron variant's making picks on our show now. 2-0. Omicron variant is right now, and possible Omicron variant sighting tomorrow on the show. Possible.
Wow. Tune in.
So Hornets plus 3.5 minus 108 for Pete, and I'm going to move on Hornets plus 6.5 full game when the show's over. Okay, let's keep. Oh, and nothing official for you, Wham Bam.
Yeah, nothing official, but I will tweet out if I make any additions on this one. So this is going to be an official post on my Twitter for sure.
Billy Friedrich is betting the over on this one. All right, we move on to 8 p.m. Eastern. Memphis Grizzlies 40-18, 20-9 on the road. By the way, Toronto opens up fully on March 1st. Fully opens up, everything gone.
Nice.
No masks, no limits, nothing. We open up finally, man. Jesus. All right, Smoothie King Center, New Orleans, Louisiana. Memphis 5-0 over their past 5. First in pace, fastest pace in the league. We've seen it. Man, they're rolling. 104.5 possessions a game. The Pelicans 3-2, 26th in pace, 96.60 possessions a game. And then we have Memphis opening up as 4-point favorites. That's moved to 4.5. This total opened up at 228. Pinnacle has added a hook to it to 228.5. And when we get over to the cash flow here, 6,890. Sorry, that's the wrong game. 9,129 tickets, 72% of tickets, and 99% of the cash on the Grizzlies, and no real market move towards them. 55% of tickets on the over, and 99% cash on the over, and no real market move there either. Astute Chaos is on Memphis Pelicans first half over at 111.5 and minus 106. Nuke thinks we still need masks. I thought it was all done. Nuke, really? I thought
bullshit.
I thought it was all over, Nuke. But I don't pay attention to that stuff. Like Pete taught me, I keep my head in the sand and focus only on sports. Grizz coming up their 5th straight win, 125-118 at Charlotte on Saturday night. Desmond Bain goes for 25. So they're being dominating first quarters. The Grizzlies have scored 30 or more points in the first quarter in 9 straight games. They've outscored their opposition 187 to 112 in the first quarter, and they finished with at least 120 points each game. That's nuts. Crazy. Pelicans on the second half of a back-to-back after dominating the Raptors 120-90 last night. 36 assists on 45 field goals, shoot 58.4%. McCollum goes for 23, and Brandon Ingram goes for 10 points, 11 boards, and 8 assists, and sat out the entire fourth quarter. Reich says Grizzlies minus 4.5. Says if Ja plays, Pelicans played last night against Toronto, and they played pretty good. Memphis had the night off. Take it away. Oh, Billy Friedrichs on Grizz team total over 116.5. Says 9-1 team total over last 10 on the road. And Topset says get out of Canada. I'm working on it. I'm trying to make that happen. Take it away here, Pistol Pete. We'll start with you.
You know, this was you remember last week, Jimmy the Bag, the Memphis game where I was like, God, I like the Memphis first quarter over and the Memphis first quarter team total over, but I saw that the first quarter total at Pinnacle was way less than a quarter of the overall game total, and I was all like, that's not an accident, blah blah blah. So I overthought myself. I stayed off it, didn't make any plays. Of course, Memphis rolled in the first quarter. First quarter was super high scoring. The total over cashed by 10. The team total cashed by 8 or whatever it was. And here we have the same thing. No reason not to like Memphis, a first quarter over and team total over. But once again, the first quarter total is way less than a quarter of the overall game total. Now, last week, I saw that and I was like, oh, I'm not smarter than the market, which is still true, but it pulled me off two bets that cashed easily. I was furious about it for the entire day the next day. I was like, why didn't I just pull the trigger? You got to go with what you do, throw your best bet. And if you win, great. If you lose, that's fine. It was your best pitch. I got to be thinking once again, first quarter over and Memphis first quarter team total over, but I can't explain why the first quarter total is so low.
Yeah, man, it's tough. It's tough to go against that trend, like you mentioned, man. It's just been hitting at a high rate. 7 of the last 10 on the road first quarter covers for the Memphis Grizzlies. It's the other way around here at the house for the NOLA. They're 3-7 in the first quarter. So maybe just isolating the first quarter, get in and get out, like my guy Ski would say, like you're saying, Pete, is probably the best way. Pelicans are 2-8 straight up off of no rest, 5-5 ATS. This is a new team, of course, having a guy being added in and immediately, having the most points out of everybody, and CJ McCollum averaging 7 rebounds as well in that 3-game span that he's been with the team. Very interesting stat there. Going to be looking into that. But as far as this team, as far as New Orleans, I think we're definitely going to have to see them be up to the class that they're going to have to play. Ja is questionable, so that is a concern. I think that may be the reason why the line isn't moving, because Ja is questionable. So one of those things, like guy on the injury report right before the All-Star break, maybe a little bit tricky, little situation there. I haven't made an official play here, but I'm only going first quarter as far as the official lean, I would say, that I didn't bet yet. That would be the play I'm making, if anything, in this game. It's going to be the first quarter, Memphis. Again, ride it while it's hot. And against a team that's not that hot over the last 10 games, again, at the house, they're 3-7 to the spread in the first quarter. So that's the way I would be going, is Memphis here. One thing I will say is that they have been holding down the paint, the Pelicans. So when I do look into capping against the Grizzlies, I look who is going to stop these guys from getting in the paint. They're averaging about 60 plus over the last 5 games. And for the season, number one in that regard all year long is the Memphis Grizzlies. The Pelicans, they've been playing pretty good. So they're holding opponents to 44 points over the last 5 games, which is ranked 4th in the league here. So it is something I am going to be looking into for the full game. But early on, I think you may be able to find these guys get off in it. So I like the first quarter. I like the first quarter Memphis. But do I care so much about the full game? I would say I lean more so towards the Pelicans. And again, 8-2 ATS. I'm sorry, straight up on the back-to-backs for the Pelicans, but they're 5-5 ATS. So they have split the coverage there on the spread. But it's an interesting game. I'm going to be watching it for sure. If I'm going to have action on this game, it's going to be tweeted out. It most likely is going to be the first quarter, though.
All right.
Pete, can you touch on Dan's note here, the line maker's note? Do you see it? That's great. And
I was going to ask him a specific question. Dan Kelly, I don't know if I think you were watching this segment last week. If not, you can go back and watch it. I was all ready to pull the trigger on Memphis first quarter over and the Memphis first quarter team total over. Based on the eye test, it looked like an obvious play. Based on the stats, it looked like an obvious play. But then I saw what the lines were. It made no sense to me at all. It was a very clear market opinion that the first quarter total should be significantly lower than 1 quarter of the full game total. And so I held off. But it wound up going exactly like I thought. The first quarter went to 65. Memphis put up 38. So what would your conclusion, be for that, Dan Kelly? Would you think, the market was just wrong, or would you think the market was right and I just got lucky? If I lose, it's fine. You can put me down, Jimmy the Bag. First quarter over 56 minus 105. That's current line at Pinnacle. That's current line at Heritage. Who knows? Maybe if you shop around, you can get even lower. I don't know.
Right.
But, we've seen this time and time again where someone makes a great handicapping analysis. They see the market, so they hold back and it wins. And then they see it again the next time and they're like, I'm not going to hold back this time. And they make the bet and they make it official and then it loses. So if you want to say it, go ahead. But I'm going to make it official. Pelicans, Memphis, first quarter over 56 minus 105.
Over 56 and minus 105. That's locked in for you. Astute Chaos gave it to us earlier. Memphis, New Orleans Pelicans, first half over 111.5 and minus 106. And Dan Kelly says, I believe if you go back and look at the chat, you will see that I told you to make that bet.
Yeah. But then I was like, who's smarter, the market or me? I was like, the market. Then I was like, well, who's smarter, the market or Dan Kelly? And I was like,
Dan Kelly.
The market. But I was wrong. Me and Dan Kelly together combined are way smarter than the market. Are you
We're
kidding
way
me?
smarter than the market. Fuck the market.
And then if you throw in Dennis Garcia, and then if you throw in Ski Profit and Jimmy the Bag and Billy Friedrich, oh my God.
We are the line setters.
In a different galaxy than the market.
For sure.
Community of New Knowledge has been dropping picks here, and they've been very successful. The cash me out pick of the day for the Community of New Knowledge is the Atlanta Hawks at minus 1. Shout out and respect to you, my guy. All right, very interesting. So I'm uncomfortable with this spot, but you think that when Jaws announced this moves to 6.5 immediately, Will?
I think so. I think if he's announced out, I think he will move for sure. And
but
then,
if he's announced in too, right?
Yeah, if he's announced in, it's going to get good. It's going to get good for you. But even one thing I want to mention too, today is very historically lopsided, man. A lot of these teams been owning each other in historic fashion. Pelicans, one of them, 10 of the last 13 meetings, they've won 10 of those meetings. So it's very interesting to see how this shakes up and are the trends are going to continue.
Well, let's move on to Clippers, Suns. And I'm beginning to figure out my action here. I think that on my card today will be Mavs +4, Sixers +3, and Hornets +6.5. The question I'm starting to go over is, do I bet them all on the money line too and maybe cut a little bit off of the unit size? So I'm figuring that out. But I feel like that's going to be my plan at this point. We move on to 10 p.m. Eastern. LA Clippers 28-30, 12-17 on the road at Phoenix Suns 46-10, 24-5 at home. Footprint Center in Phoenix, Arizona. Clippers 2-3 over their past 5, 20th in pace at 98.40 possessions game, while the Clippers have swept the board in their last 5. They're 12th in pace at 99.90 possessions a game. We have the Suns as 13-point favorites. This total opened up at 223.5. There is a 224 at a couple different books. And Sammy B, by the way, letting us know the Pelicans are 2-8 straight up on back-to-backs. And here we go, Astute Chaos, more action. More action for him. I'm going to copy and paste that. He's on the Clippers, Phoenix first half over 109.5 minus 108 and over 110.5 at plus 107. Interesting. I love hearing Astute Chaos. Is actually a great capper. Okay, then we'll go over to the cash here in this spot. 7,464 tickets in. 79% of the tickets are on the Suns. We don't have a cash count at this point, but 85% of tickets and 84% of cash on the over, rolling right with Astute Chaos's feeling there. Okay, Clippers on the second half of back-to-back after winning their second straight game, 119-104 at home versus the Warriors. Terrence Mann goes for 25, 7 boards, 6 assists. He is playing very well. Over 20 points for the second straight game. He had 21 in that win over the Mavericks on Saturday. Reggie Jackson also 19, 9, and 8. I can imagine the Piston fans and the Thunder fans watching Reggie Jackson play so well, just losing their fucking minds. This guy used to be so hard to watch because he always had this skill and he was always able to turn it on. So Suns coming off their 5th straight win, 132-105 at home over Orlando. 40 assists and 7 turnovers. I mean, this team is just incredible. Crazy. They won 16 of 17. They won their last 2 by an average of 25.5 points. They bring in Torrey Craig and Aaron Holiday at the trade deadline, and right away they both have a role and are succeeding in it. Craig went 14 points in 23 minutes. Holiday had 10 points in 9 minutes. God, this team is very, very good. But 13-point favorites at home. Is it too many points? Pete, what do you think here?
I know Phoenix doesn't always cover these kinds of numbers, but last week there were two 12, 13-point home favorites that I just thought were kind of no-brainerish, not locks, but kind of no-brainerish. Didn't pull the trigger on either of them. Both of them won. Feels like the same way here. It's not a 70% play. Feels like it's got to be a 54, 55% play. Phoenix minus 12.5.
What do you think, Wham?
Yeah, this game gives me the same way I was feeling about the Utah Jazz game yesterday when they went through and covered that spread. But the only problem here is Ty Lue and the grit of this fucking Clippers team. I mean, and in this series as well, this series has been you win one, I win one, you win one, I win one. So this would be the win one for the Clippers in this matchup here over the last 6 games. I believe it's been like that. Off of back-to-back, they're 3-7 against the spread and straight up, the Clippers. So obviously coming and celebrating off of that win against Golden State, which I kind of seen coming as well. Mentioned it on the NBA Pub Show. I expect them to play well. So that was a good look there. I just missed out on the Kuminga prop, so it pissed me off there. But neither here nor there. As far as this game, though, I just only go Phoenix here. And it's unfortunate because I can see the Clippers playing well again on the back-to-back. It is a tough spot. This isn't that far of a trip. It's a quick little flight there to Phoenix. Not that big of a deal. Do I expect the Clippers to play well? Do I expect them to have revenge on their mind and finally get guys involved? Norman Powell not being involved in this game, I thought that was going to be a big problem yesterday. But even then, I thought they had the guys to fill in. This is Lord of the Wings. They have all the wings available to the market for their disposal. So they could throw everyone at a fresh guy at Devin Booker. They could throw a fresh guy at Ayton. But I think Ayton takes it personal tonight because they had fucking Terrence Mann guarding them in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? I think you take it personal tonight. What type of schemes they were running at him. I would love to see that. I would love to see these guys blow them the fuck out in the Suns, but I can see the Clippers actually making a game out of this. So it's very tough game for me, and I probably won't have any action on this game. But this game right here, I only think that the Suns come out and win, similar to what you've seen the Jazz do. The only problem that I have is that the other team, they have a coach that can make adjustments in game, unlike some of the other NBA coaches, and they can figure out a way to do it. So that's the only problem that I have is the back-to-back with the Clippers. Other than that, they've been fucking awesome, man. They've been scoring. They've been having guys in and out of the lineup and still been able to figure it out. You mentioned Reggie Jackson. He still is hard to fuck to watch, bro. It's just sometimes his shot goes down. So he's still hard to watch. Terrence Mann, he balled the fuck out yesterday. I don't expect him to do that. I'm like I always think about what you say, Jimmy, when a guy has one of those career days, the next day they fall fucking flat off the earth. So maybe his production be the reason why his production falling off the flat, maybe the reason why the Suns cover here, because they definitely going to need it for him today. So I think the Suns cover here. If you had a gun to my head, that's the way I'll be betting.
And Dan Kelly on the Clippers team total under 105.5. That's a very interesting look that I think I'm going to jump on board. Matty Ice says, what are your thoughts about this total, Wham?
Yeah, and I'm sorry for not mentioning that. You know what? It's kind of like these two teams are going to play heavyweight style basketball. You know what I mean? So there will be some adjustments, like I mentioned, like adjustments made, I think, on the defensive side rather than the offensive side. So I can only think towards the under here. And then as far as what you seeing though from the Suns, they've been scoring fucking amazing, man. Like you mentioned it, bro. Like as far as the assist to turnover ratio, it's top tier, man. I'm talking about at 3.6 or some shit like that. If I looked at it last, it was at 3.6, bro. That is crazy as hell. 3.61, bro. That is amazing, man. Like you don't fucking have that normally here, but obviously it's Chris Paul pounding the ball here, so I would think towards the under here. But again, I kind of don't want to go against it, bro, because they've been shooting at a pretty good rate. So both teams are pretty slow as far as pace, though. So you could get that working for you there. But I'm gonna stay away from the total and the side, honestly, in this game. I may not even touch any of the props that I like here. I'm just stay away pretty much.
This is a really fun card.
You think that
Nick
It
Izzo
is,
come
man.
in with his action, Cavs money line, Mavs +4 says he may add the under in the Philly Celtics game. I think I might add. I think I'm likely going to add that under in the Phillies game, and then I think that taking the Clippers team total under is a really shrewd move here after their success offensively against the Suns team that wants to shut them down. So I'm very excited. I'm very excited about all of this. Pistol Pete, is there anything you want to add in the Clippers Suns game?
I was thinking about taking. This is another game where the first half total is way lower than half of the full game total, which I guess is understandable. But do the Clippers have the personnel to slow down Phoenix for a half?
They have a lot of wings, man. They have a lot of wings. They could throw countless, a lot of guys at each of those players. Marcus Morris, Nicholas Batum has been playing really well. It's just, dude, maybe I'm talking about these two older guys. I just mentioned two old guys, and it's a back-to-back situation. Maybe that is in play here, and also it being the All-Star break. So some of those guys may be checking and fuck out. So it's tough. Yeah, it's a tough game though.
I'm old. Dan Kelly's old. Topset is old. A lot of guys are old around here. Listen, I think I'm going to take the Phoenix first half team total over. I understand that the Clippers, after the Golden State game, they couldn't shut down Memphis, right? And
right.
Once again, I can understand the opposite argument, and it might lose, but I'll take the Phoenix first half team total over. It's relatively low, all things considered. I think 57.5 minus 120 at Pinnacle, and I'm seeing 58 minus 110 at Heritage. If you shop around, you could probably get a better line somewhere, but I'll just take the 58 minus 110 Phoenix first half team total over.
Okay, yeah, it's 57.5 at Bet365, but minus 125.
I'll take 58 minus 110 at Heritage.
Cool. You guys locked in there. Okay, now that we have WAM here, and I would like to do this with you guys at the end of every NBA breakdown this week, I would like to talk skills competition here. So let's start with the 3-point competition here. I had the players up here, and here we go. Okay, so now there could be an issue with the Van Fleet at this point, but let's go over these guys. Here we go. Wham, we have, and anybody in the chat, I'd really like to hear what we are using, and also just the magic of our producer Jose Bouquet. We have a clip of our man Wham Bam saying that Marcus Smart is out of the corner. Jose, take it away.
Oh my God.
Very nice. Very nice.
That is amazing. Very fast. Wow. Wow. Wow.
He's the best in the game, man. He's the best producer in the game.
That's what happens, Marcus Smart, when you get back-to-back 7-point assist games, buddy. Let's keep it going. Get my man out the corner. Make a good point guard out of you, bro. Yikes. That was quick.
Okay,
I need to watch what I say here, man.
Everyone loving it except Dan Kelly, who said it's creepy.
It's very creepy, bro, because I'm thinking like, man, I might say the wrong thing, and I might be the woman next time and shit. Fucked around. I'll just fuck around. Appreciate you, Jose.
Who is this Jose Bouquet guy?
Amazing.
There's more to him than the goofy smile and the brown paper bag filled with milk physique.
Yeah, and the gorgeous mustache. Let's talk 3-point contest. Here we go, Wham Bam. If anybody has got a feel for this too, Desmond Bain, Luke Kennard, and I'm going to use Luke Kennard. I'm not sure at what level, but Luke Kennard's my plan. Zach Levine, CJ McCollum, Patty Mills, Carl Anthony Towns, Fred Van Fleet. I was thinking of maybe doing a little homer bet on Van Fleet and Trey Young. And so at this point, is Trey Young going to be a big favorite here? Is he going to
Trey
take a ton of cash?
Young. Yeah, you know what? I could see Trey Young. I think he's been in the. I want to say he's been involved in this, and he did terribly. He was terrible the last time he did it. Desmond Bane is interesting. I like Desmond Bane, and I may be because I'm a little. I'm probably homer. I got to get a Desmond Bane jersey soon because I made so much money off of him. He's saved my seasons damn near single handedly there. But I would say Desmond Bane for sure. Somebody, and I love the look for Luke Kennard in this type of last year. I believe I missed out on it. No, I think I did hit last year. I know I had the Anthony Simons dunk contest, but I think I missed out, or maybe I had the this correct last year. But what I did last year was only take 3 players. I'm trying to take the most likely to have the highest probability. And then I'm trying to see what flyers I can make out of it. So maybe the most probability one for me will maybe be Desmond Bane or Luke Kennard. I think those 2 guys have a higher chance of getting out of the first round for sure. And that's what you want. You want a guy to at least get out the first round. So I would think those 2 guys. The flyer, though, for me, could you repeat? I think it was one guy that I had a flyer on. It wasn't Van Fleet. It was
McCollum, Patty
McCollum.
Mills.
It was McCollum. It was McCollum.
McCollum. He could be real dangerous here.
Very dangerous, and I think he can find his way. And he's not involved in anything else, I believe. I think this is the only thing he's involved in. So,
right.
yeah, and that's one of those type of things I like to look at. So those 3 guys are the guys I'm keying in on. This is my first time really capping it, so I got to look at the numbers. But I do know all 3 of those guys are shooting 40% from 3. And maybe McCollum's a little bit less because he has a high usage at Portland. So, but all those other guys, Luke Kennard, I agree with Desmond Bane and maybe CJ McCollum are the way I'm looking here. I think you get plus money, a bigger plus money on CJ, right? I don't think he's a favorite here.
The odds are up at DraftKings.
Okay.
Wild. Okay. I would like to find them. I'm going to find them. But our guy says that Joshua Wilcox says Patty Mills is a favorite on DraftKings at plus 450. Does that surprise you?
I can see that too. I mean, he's very, you know how Patty Mills is since he's been on San Antonio. Very streaky. Once he gets hot, he's hot. But he's one of those guys I could see being a favorite and don't even come out the first round type shit. So that's the reason why I stay away from him because I think he's probably going to be a possible there. But CJ, I like that CJ one, man. As somebody said, plus 750. That's the type of shots I'd like to take in this game.
CJ plus 750 is great. Gas Station Sushi has come in with his action. He's on the Cavs plus 1, Pacers plus 12.5, Clippers plus 13, Sixers plus 2. By the way, the threes are gone. They were there for a while, and the Sixers are gone now. So there's Gas Station's looks. Thank you for sharing that with us. Okay, so Jared TG says, I never bet this All-Star game. I have a disdain for the whole thing, but maybe I will. Well, I'm going to be live betting it and having fun with it this Saturday night, drinking heavily. Okay, dunk contest time. Cole Anthony, Jalen Green, Obi Toppin, Juan Toscano Anderson. What do you think, Juan?
Juan Toscano Anderson, I'm going to say no. Big guys haven't been doing really good. Haven't been doing really good in the dunk contest, so I'm going to cancel him out. First person I canceled out when I looked at it. Second guy I might cancel, I'm going to cancel out is Cole Anthony. Now, he can be one of those shorter guys, becoming more of a darling here. I don't see the capability for him to pull it off. So it got to be the other 2 guys. And who are the other 2? And I just drew a blank.
Obi Toppin and Jalen Green. I was leaning towards Jalen, but
I like Jalen too. I like Jalen too because think of it this way. He don't have shit to win this year now. He came in here talking all the shit about rookie of the year or being the best rookie. You're like 20th best rookie at this point. So this is your hand in the for the year to be kind of cemented. At least I won the damn dunk contest. So I hope, and he has the bounce. So Anthony Simons had the bounce last year, and it looked really well. He has the bounce too. Problem is that he's probably going to be going up against Obi Toppin, and I can see Obi Toppin having more flair. So those 2, I expect those to be like the final there, those 2 guys. And I can see Obi Toppin having a little bit more flair. So it's kind of scary because I just mentioned that big men don't do really that well. he's not that same type of big man. He's more like a Mari Stoudemire type of big man. Maybe like a little undersized big guy. So I can see it still looking a lot good. But Jalen Green, I think he has the most to lose out of all these guys. You know what I mean? He has the most to lose, and he is the favorite here. So I tend to see that the favorite wins a lot, and I think Anthony Simons was the favorite last year, and he won. So I could see that being the same case for this one. But I had that right the last time, so I'm for sure going to be on Jalen Green. This will be an official bet, but I'm not sure what number I'm going to get it at.
Well, we just got the numbers right now. Jalen Green's plus 200, Obi plus 2. Thank you, Joshua Wilcox. I got my guy there. Green plus 200, Obi plus 205, Cole Anthony plus 300, and Juan Toscano Anderson at plus 340.
Yeah. I'm most likely going to pull Jalen Green, so that will be. You could lock that down as an official bet for me, and I'll take the plus 200. That's cool.
So, do you think that this is a spot where, like on Jalen, that we should get in now, that it could go down and he could become the favorite, or do you think it'll be somewhere around here, anyways?
Well, you know how it is, bro. Like they do their practice run, and the guys that set the lines and all that stuff, they get to see the game before. They get to see the dunk contest before. Maybe they have like surprises or guest appearances coming out to increase the flair. But I think you are going to see a line movement here. I'm just going to lock in the Jalen Green now because I'm probably not going to get 200 once they open up. So I would agree with. I think the line may move in his favor. And again, the reason why I'm taking JTA out is because I just don't think he's going to have the same flair as Obi. And if you think about who's going to get the more love out of the two big men, it's going to be Obi. And who's going to get more love out of the shorter guys, I think you see more flair from Jalen Green, and he has the more to lose. So those are the two guys that I'll probably clean in on. I'm not going to bet both, though. So I'm saying Jalen Green is my guy. That's the one I'm
you can't bet both with the 4-player race. And then, by the way, a great note from Dan Kelly. He said CJ's a local boy from Canton. So you have a local boy. I've switched. I'm going to leave. I think I wonder what Van Fleet's knee is going to do to him. I think I move over at this point to Kennard and McCollum. I'll probably get big numbers on both of them.
I'm probably rocking with both of those too. Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you for that. And we're going to keep doing that every show here because I'm going to be betting it and I want to win. Great stuff from Wham Bam. Let's review all action here in NBA. First off, Dan Kelly's action is in +4 for the Mavericks. Fourth quarter, Pacers +2. Fourth quarter, Charlotte, Minnesota over. What's the number of that? I had it written down. It was at 58? Why don't I have it here? 58, I think.
For Charlotte?
Yeah, fourth quarter.
Charlotte, fourth quarter. Let me look it up. I got it right here. I got FanDuel up really quick.
I had it there, and if Dan Kelly's still with us.
You said the total, right? The total?
Yeah, fourth quarter.
Fourth quarter, 58.5. I have 58.5 minus 113 at FanDuel. Okay. So, yeah, I'm not sure. I'm going to try to see if it's a difference. BetOnline and Bovada here real quick.
Third quarter, Memphis Pelicans over 58.5. And then Clippers team total under 105.5. I like that a lot. Wham has added Jalen Green to win the dunk contest at +200. Astute Chaos is on Cleveland, Atlanta. First half over 112.5. Jose will get into college basketball. There's all of his action for Astute Chaos. Let me just get all of it here. Thank you, Astute Chaos. Okay, so that is, and then we'll go over all our picks here. So it looks like I'll have 5 bets at NBA tonight, which is quite a bit for the smaller card. Let's go over everything here in NBA. Wham is on Kevin Love over 12.5 points at -108, and neither Peter or I have moved on Cavaliers Hawks. Then the Mavs +4, I will be moving on. Dan Kelly's on it. I will be moving on it. Wham's on the Williams. Robert Williams double at +165. Pete's on the under 210 at -108. I will be moving on the Sixers and the under when this show is done. Wham is on O'Shea. Brissett over 12.5 points at -106. And nothing for us in Pacers Bucks. Then Pete is on the Hornets first half +3.5. I'm going to be on the Hornets +6.5. Pete on -108.
You know what, Jim? I'll double up. You can add me on the full game as well. What's the full game line? You getting 6.5?
Yes.
I'll double up. You can double up me. You can double me up on that one.
Yeah, be on the lookout. I might add that one too. I'm not going to do it right now, but be on the lookout.
Yeah, that Sixers line's moving. They're all talking about it. Is it? Okay, so I still got 2.5. I'm gonna have to bet it quickly here. God, it's almost at the point where you want to take the money line. Okay,
I got
so
it off
then.
the board too.
Sorry.
I have Bovada took it off the board.
Oh, damn it! I gotta get it out quick. Then we'll go over to NBA here and see if Pinnacle is going to beat that 6.5. And it's off the board. It's off the board at Pinnacle.
Robert Williams is questionable now with a calf. Marcus Smart questionable.
Yeah,
Illness.
he's sick. He's sick.
Yeah. Luckily about player props, man. They out. You get your money back.
Yeah, you get your money back. Minus 110 for you, Pete, at plus 6.5. That's available bet through, so I'll keep looking. And then Pete's on the first quarter over 56 in Memphis Pelicans. Stu Chaos on that first half over 111.5. I've not moved on that game. Pete's on the Suns' first half team total over 58 at minus 110. Stu Chaos on the first half and full game. Oh, sorry, it was on the first half over 109.5 and 110.5 at different prices. One's a plus line. And then I'm going to roll with Dan Kelly on that team total under. Taint play today is Providence plus 4.5. So we have Providence plus 4.5. Pete's Ron Crawford is Mizzou plus 7.5. Jose's on Villanova minus 4. That's a stake bet between Pete and Jose, but that stake bet is at 4.5. And Pete's on Providence plus 4.5. Central Michigan a money line plus 104. Texas first half minus 112. Northern Iowa first half minus 1.5 minus 106. Did you want to add anything to that, Pistol Pete?
I'm still freaking out about the fucking luckiest team in the history of college basketball. The line hasn't moved. I can't believe it. I can't believe he challenged me. He's going to win this shit. No, I'll just there's a lot of borderline plays in college basketball that I did bet small, but I'll just go with the 4 that I gave.
Take them down, Pete. Take them down.
It's not up to me now. I just need them to get lucky for one more game, and then the bad luck can start.
And then let's just review NHL. And Wham, you cool to hang with us for a second while we do this?
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Definitely.
So then spreadsheet play today's from Ron Crawford, St. Louis in regulation. And I am going to move on this under 6 in Blues Senators. I think, God, I wish it's minus 115 to the over. I would love to see it get bet up some more. Maybe I wait and see if it gets bet up more. So maybe I hold off on that one. Pete's on the over 6 at minus 125 in Tampa Devils. I'm going to be on the Flyers first period. That's going to be a big plus line. It's plus 200 right now. I expect to get 210 by puck drop. And then the over 5.5, I'm going to add an Islanders Sabres with Tokarski announced. And that's juice to the under still, which is interesting, at minus 115. Then I'm on the Rangers minus 1. I got a plus line there. Pete added Nashville. And I'm going to run with Pete on Nashville. I'm going to take Nashville minus 1. We're going to be going up against Dennis Garcia, which is dangerous.
Not good, yeah.
And Topset saying that he can get at sportsbetting.org, he can get that Robert Williams at plus 240. Plus 240. So
come on now.
Let's
update. Let's update.
Yeah, let's update. I'm down with that. Let's update. Give you that. Thank you for sharing that with us, Topset.
I appreciate you, brother.
Pete is on the Flames minus 1 at minus 210. I'm on the over 6 at minus 120 in that game. Pete's on the Dallas, Colorado over 6 at minus 120. Tell me that's still there. Tell me that's still there. Tell me that's still there. And it is still there, but it's moved up 5 cents. Okay, so I'm going to move on that. I like that spot. And then I'm going to be on the Stars first period, but I want Colorado to keep getting bet. I'm on the under 6.5 in the Oilers-Kings game and the Kings minus 1. I got a bad line. Pete came with me on the under 6.5, and it just keeps getting worse. God damn. Minus 115 now. God, upsetting. And then Wham, quickly, Cashman saying, what do you think of Love 15 points in Cavs money line?
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Again, I think he's going to get the 14K, which is only 8 points. But at that span, hitting those threes that he's going to be available to shoot, I think he does do that. And Cavs to win is the way I'm leaning here as well. But some guys mentioned, maybe they don't care because this is the last game of the road trip before they go to the All-Star game. So I will tread lightly there, but I do like that look. At plus 320, it's a lot of good value there.
I got my son staring at bullet holes. He wants part of the show. He wants to be part of the show.
He's
in his chair. He's in his chair, so we can.
Thick thighs McGee.
Yeah. He's 1 year old now. This was a lot of fun.
Nice.
Thank you all for rolling with us. It's great to have Pistol Pete on our Tuesdays. Shout out to all the cappers in the chat. TrotWAM, Star Child, Cashman 19. Jared TG, Locke, Bresner. I love that name. Hick Schnizzle. I need money. Says, how do we feel about the Grizzlies' first quarter spread? Well, if Ja's in, it's going to be a nice spot. A Real Deal Prime, Newporker, Universal Luxury, Abel, Alvarez in the house, Bill McDonald, Joshua Wilcox, Dan Kelly, Gas Station Sushi, Puzzler, Chip Plylar, all these great cappers, Crystal Warren. Thank you all for hanging out with us. Dennis Garcia, all you guys, thank you so much. And then I need to see one more. I just need to see this one more time. Not the Dirty Dancing. I was thinking about this steak bit here, and I just can't get enough of it. So I just need to watch this one last time.
Everybody in the audience, now listen to me carefully, is being given a special package, and I don't want you to open it. Do not open it. Cameras are on. All right, open your boxes. Open your boxes. 1, 2, 3.
I get a steak. I get a steak. I get a steak. I get another steak.
I love that shit. I love it. I love it. Wham Bam, can you let us out of here, my man?
Oh, wait, I got to get a break.
Yeah.
Oh,
go
shit.
ahead. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Birthday pics are on the way.
Thank you. That's hugely important.
Yeah. J Stone 9. Stone 9. Happy birthday. I don't know if you're lit. Okay, go ahead.
Good. No, you're good. It's not just the thing. Let's go, Pete. I believe in you.
Not with the music. Although I love the music, but we'll do the music after you.
We'll get after the pick.
Okay.
Yeah, J Stone 9. Happy birthday to you. Listening for 5+ years. You turned 49 today. Huge shout out to you. Hope you have a great birthday and an awesome year and an awesome life. Here you go, J Stone 9. I thought about this, Jimmy the Bag. I could give the Central Michigan game, but it's moving in the Eastern Michigan's direction. Not exactly sure what's going on with there. I do kind of like Charlotte, first half, but I think I'm just going to make it simple. It's going to be an NHL total. Sorry that NHL totals can easily push, but simple. I'm going to make it Dallas, Colorado, over 6. My bet was for the show was at -120. Jim said it was -125 now, but it just makes a lot of sense. Colorado, strong offensive team. Dallas should come back here and try to put some shots on goal. They'll probably get a few through. And, over 6, Dallas, Colorado, over 6 at -120 was my pick, or -125 where it is now. Happy birthday to you, J Stone 9.
Nice. That's nice.
Hell yeah.
What a fun show. And happy birthday, Jay Stone, my man. I think that's a great pick. And I'm going to bet it as soon as the show is over. I want to jump in on that. I like that we're getting to 6 because of the 4-0 under that just cashed 2 days ago for underbettors. And everybody was on the over and moved from 6 to 6.5 so quickly. The 6.5 got juiced. Wham Bam, can you lecture us into the future, my friend?
Yeah, I guess the buddies are trying to get into the show right now. My son's trying to do as well. So we will be out of here, but be back here again at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, NBA Pub Show, TrotWAM. My guy, Peter Loshak, Jimmy the Bag. We went in with the bag, like my guy Dutch would say. Leche a los bookmakers.
Where's the bang bang, Preston? Come on.
I can't breathe.
Pub Sports Radio. Come find us in Southtown 101. Subscribe on YouTube and all platforms where podcasts are found.